Right. Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our November 3rd budget hearing meeting. We're going to get started with building, zoning, and planning. And we are joined by John Sternquist, our building inspector and head of the department. All right.
So we'll start first with our salaries. We have here Sandra Anelli and Margaret Khan. For Sandy's, 15% of her salary is charged to planning, and the other 10% is charged to zoning. She also is going to be receiving a stipend this year, same as last year at $15,000. And 10% of Margaret's salary is also going off to zoning. The only thing we just wanted to note is that the stipend that was requested for Margaret is, as of right now, not being approved for the backflow work. Just wanted to let you know that. So that brings our total for 2024 to $133,334 in the department. In regards to overtime, there's nothing budgeted there. For longevity, both Sandy and Margaret are each getting longevity, with Sandy being at $1,175 and Margaret at $575. For sick pay incentive, we have budgeted $2,000. The ladies of the building department tend to take advantage of that. Health stipend as well, we have a budgeted at $5,250. In regards to part-time, that is where your salary, John, is, and we are budgeting it at, it's a 2% increase over 2023, so you're being increased to $60,404 for your salary. Okay. In regards to equipment, we're budgeting $1,000. Vehicles, same as the prior year, at $0. For trees contractual, $1,500. For the telephone line, approximately the bill is $40 a month. So we're budgeting $480. Printing and postage, we've increased it to $550, seeing as postage prices are going to be increasing most likely. Office and supplies expense to $700. Maintenance of equipment and leases, we currently have a copier lease, which is at $175 per month. And in regards to the machine for Pitney Bowes, we are still awaiting to see what exactly is going to be happening with that lease. It should be reaching out to us either this month or early next month. So we got to work that out. They're replacing, just to give you guys the background, the Pitney Bowes machine that is in the building department is a really, really old model. And they're trying to get rid of them one by one, and we're part of the municipalities that are that. So they're going to be speaking to us about getting a new one and leasing it. We just have not heard back yet. And then we have municipal maintenance at $10,000. That. In regards to constable and security services, we're budgeting it at $200. Professional dues and meetings, we have the New York State BOC dues, the International Coast Council, and Westchester Fire Marshals, totaling $735. Conferences, we're budgeting $150. Unlimited fuel at $500. In-service training, we have input the Westchester Fire Marshals, the New York State BOC classes, and any additional training that may be necessary, for a total of $1,000.
Wait, do you have a question, John?
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, as we go ahead, you can interrupt me or stop or let me know if you want to explain.
I'm thinking, but okay.
Okay.
It seems fine though.
Okay.
I see there's other professional dues and meetings above that as well. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, so the one above is for any professional organization that you guys belong to, and then for the training would be for any training that you guys are going to be taking throughout the year that you can get a reimbursement for, and we charge it here. Or if you take the class and the invoice us directly, we'll pay from that line.
I got it. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. In regards to building inspector for the vehicle parts, we're budgeting $500. Books at $100. For intermunicipal rent, this is an increase from prior years, 30% increase from last year, and that's going to be up to $20,134. And that brings the end of the safety inspection.
Martha, just before you go any further, the in-service training, who is that offered to? Just the building inspector, or is that for the staff of?
I believe that's for the entire staff, correct? Yeah.
Anybody?
And department? So Sandy and Margaret can go to if they need to. Okay.
No, you're good.
You're good.
On the revenues,
Oh, the revenues, okay, good.
is planning, didn't you come out planning?
I thought that I did, apparently I did not.
If you're running it by building, which is going to be. Probably.
One second.
Yeah. I think 5. What are you looking for?
That's relevant.
No, page
No,
5
it's-
is the revenues for a building department.
Oh.
Well, they'll find that. Sorry about that. We'll continue with the rest.
Around here.
Yeah.
Is it on our email?
You gotta pick off 8. Yeah. That'll bring in 801.
Yeah. Okay. I'll
Can
finish up with.
I email it to
Yes.
you?
Mhm,
So I don't
yeah.
have access to.
Mhm. No. print it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
As Dale's doing now, we'll finish up with the revenues. For safety inspection fees, we have it at $100,000, same as last year. For other public safety department work, we're budgeting at $100,000. Zoning fees at $1,000 revenue wise. Planning board fees, these are just general, at $2,000. And we currently don't have anything budgeted for planning or consultant fees. So that's for this part for safety and fact, and then we're getting planning and zoning. A quick side. We'll pause. Okay. Need to stop the share. You just want me to pause the recording list?
Sure. Okay, on to planning.
So, sorry, first is zoning.
Well, zoning.
So for the zoning, yes, this is where in the line for the regular salaries, we have 10% of Sandy's salary and 10% of Margaret's salary being charged here, bringing us to a total of $12,894. Overtime for zoning, we have budgeted at $1,000. For publication of legal notices at $500. Printing and postage, at $400, that has been done in previous years. Conferences, and this includes the ZBA member training at $1,000. In regards to stenographer translating services at $500. Now going on to planning, this is where 15% of Sandy's salary is charged to, so that brings it to $10,714. For overtime in regards to planning, we're putting it at $4,000 budgeting. Part-time, we don't have a part-time worker for that. Equipment, $150, nothing there for contractual for this upcoming year. Publication of legal notices at $600, printing and postage at $2,500. Office supplies and expenses at $500. Professional dues and meetings, and this is where the New York Planning Federation dues, half of it is charged to, as well as the Westchester Municipal Planning Federation and any additional training. We are budgeting that at $500. For conferences, this is for the planning board members training at $1,000. Then we have our consulting services and Nelson Pope and CRC and non-escrow at $18,500. Nothing for consulting service reimbursement for planning, but we do have $500 for stenographer and translator service. And then, yep. Any other questions?
Any questions, anyone?
Questions?
Oh, good.
Good,
You're free, man.
pretty good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Thank you, John.
Thank you.
I'll see you later.
Okay, we are joined by Pete Connolly, Head of Cemetery and Highway, for our cemetery and highway budgets. Okay,
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna start first with cemetery. In regards to the contractual auditor, being budgeted at $1,061. For the finance IMA at $15,101. For contract record retention, it's part of the general code laser fiche. 25% going to the cemetery at $7,640. Nothing for insurance. For the general liability insurance premium, we have it at $6,845. And Dale Cemetery auto insurance at $950. Going down to the MTA tax at 0.34% at $841. And contractual at this line, nothing. The zero. Okay, moving on to salaries for the cemetery. We have Pete Connolly at 2% over 2023. So salary was at $31,296. We have the two Jose R. Cash and Jose J. Cash group, Teamsters, groundskeepers. They are currently at step 2 and they're going to be going under universities to step 3 come 2024. We also have a, I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, those were those 3 people. We did not approve of the assistant foreman or the movement of another person into that department, bringing our total to $194,100. For service time for overtime, we have it at $12,000. Then we have longevity at $1,100. Out of title work at 0. For a sick pay incentive, we have it at $2,000. Last year, the Teamsters did manage to get past the threshold of how many needed to take certain number of absent days, and they managed to get that threshold, so we kind of increased it.
okay, we got one thing here. If, we agree with the Teamsters that they'll be out of total for digging, which I'm not a fan of. We may have to change that line. When the groundskeepers are using machinery to dig it. Grave, they might want out of title. Or, right?
I heard rumblings about that. No one ever approached me officially. Either that or he could be given a stipend based on the amount of burials, maybe a year, and the times he uses the machine. Instead of what they do now, they keep track of every time he gets on there in the highway in a different piece of equipment. So he gets out of title, that person. So.
Right, so.
I just feel like, cemetery work is digging a grave, so like that's
With
should
an
be within
it's-
their,
It's with an excavator, they may have a point. So,
Is it the same level of machinery
Yeah.
that he's working on in the highway?
yes,
That's the problem.
Yeah. oh, absolutely.
And how much time does it take
Because
to
he's
dig a
gonna
grave?
need Jimmy up.
Well, that's just it.
that's what he's
So
asking for.
Right.
If we hit
because he's
rock,
using the
oh,
same
it's day and a half.
highway and
Alright,
getting
so
out
there's
of
variable
highway,
time.
going
Each
to
grave is
start
variable.
using
It's
it.
Right.
not fixed.
if you do 80 burials a year, not all are,
But his-
some are cremation by
No,
hand.
Oh,
no.
Okay, so the others, if you hit rock, then they put the hammer on, we could be
Then
banging
we
rock
put
for a
some
day
money
and a half,
Mhm.
not too often,
Uh,
okay? So if you figure it takes him 3 hours to prep, then he's got to backfill another one, and we also do the monument foundations, okay? We have to dig out for them and pour them, so he's using a machine then too, so.
So on a straightforward burial with no rock, no nothing, what is the time elapsed? An hour, I think,
From start to
to
finish, 5 hours,
5 hours.
yeah, maybe 5 hours, yeah,
That's with no problems, no rock, no nothing.
right, yeah. And just to be clear, that position was not adding another worker to the cemetery. That
It was
that
switching,
a
yeah, no, it was
transfer.
switching,
Yeah,
no, I
yeah,
understood that.
okay,
We have nothing budgeted for the health stipend as everybody is part of the town's health and vision, health and dental plans for the cemetery. For the part-time, we do have a part-time worker, that we are bringing up to $16.50. So that brings it to $17,160. Moving along to equipment, we currently don't have anything budgeted for the 2024 year. Contractual, we have the ARCO cleaning that comes into the cemetery, budgeted at $2,000. For the telephone line, we have the phone and internet, website, and any additional work at $1,200. Electricity, at $2,500. Heat, $3,100, printing and postage, at $100. Office and supplies expense at $1,500. We have professional dues and meetings. We have the New York State Association of Cemeteries dues at $150. Conferences at $900. Unleaded fuel at $8,900. And any other materials and supplies, which is the Monument Foundation concrete at $4,500. For general liability insurance premium, currently not budgeted at $0. And for the maintenance and repair of building and grounds, we have it at $25,000. Uniforms, we have right now contracted for the Teamsters at $1,400. And I think this is also, probably gonna revisit just depending on how the union contracts go, remember?
The uniforms, yeah.
Uniforms, yeah, we may be revisiting that depending on how the contract goes forward. For in-service training, we have it at $500. Trees, $20,000. That's Colombian flax at $1,800. Water charges at $1,200. Capital improvement expenses, including this for the monument repairs at $17,500. And intermunicipal contractual at $0. We can just skip this the rest. The rest of those for the employees are just confirmed.
No,
No.
let's go to the next.
Can do the
one.
next thing.
Employee
Okay, yeah,
benefits,
this is okay.
Retirement.
For the employee benefits for the New York State retirement system, with the adjustment, it comes to $32,969. For the employee benefits home and com service at $0.
Like a Medicare.
Oh, FICA Medicare, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like looking here and there, yeah.
I'm used to
Sorry.
these codes,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
No, I'm trying to keep it here and then also there, because Angela's looking at there, so. I'm trying to check. So I can move my spot and I come back, okay. Going down to, employee
workers'
benefits,
comp.
workers' compensation. Where are we?
On page 9
Page 9.
is health insurance.
Health insurance. We have it in an increase, at $44,584. We're estimating it at 8%. I'm still awaiting to get that meeting that they have annually, most likely towards mid-November, as to what the rates are actually gonna be. So, once we get those official rates, we can put that in. For the Radish Health Services, it's 5% of it is charged to the cemetery fund at $520. Following up, next.
9070 is your dental.
For my dental,
That's $4,000.
$1,000.
908 is disability, that's the same as 1,000.
1,000. Pull everything together here before. Disabilities at 500, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, disabilities at $500. And then bond and note expenses.
That's when we do our
Yeah.
ban renewal.
So,
Ban.
Bond
Bond
is-
is-
oh,
okay. Sorry.
That's a ban.
this
Ban.
goes on to our debt service principal, and that's $3,892. Again, another one, debt service interest at $1,634. And then we have
Those are the bonds.
bond payments for the following pages. I think with that, is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, yes, that's it. Okay, let's put there and then we go on to the revenues. So revenue would be on the top, it says page number 1 again. We just had a little. Okay. Okay. So for the sale of cemetery plots, we have it at 81,591. Enchantments at 95,000, inscriptions at 350 revenue wise. Foundation for plots at $20,000, donation wise, nothing because these are donations. Columbia plaques at 2,500. Interest earnings at $200. To the next page, the sale of surplus equipment, nothing. Insurance recoveries and nothing, water limer and all the other stuff went to the bottom, and then we just have the transfer from general fund. For 2024 adjustment at $219,221. And I think that's it, right? Yes, that's it for the cemetery. Any questions? Comments?
So the reason I asked for the transfer, I think after 9 years, I feel a foreman or assistant foreman should be there on a daily basis. I'm not gonna be there forever. They're good workers, their language skills are not there. One speaks better than the other. You could have someone there on a day-to-day basis to sow graves, to meet with funeral directors, monument dealers. I think would be a plus moving forward. Okay, start learning the office slowly also. Okay, it's just human nature, guys, that if you don't have somebody over you, you gotta do what you wanna do, and I can only be there so often and so can Mario. He has a full plate too. So that was my reasoning behind putting that person in place over there. And a lateral move, it may cost a little bit more because you have to pay someone who's got to have responsibility a little bit more than the others. So. But I think moving forward, it would be a good thing for the town, all right? Because, any one of us that just might not even come in tomorrow. So at least you have someone else in place. Okay.
I understand your reasoning, but I think that if we were gonna be able to find another worker, the Parks Department is so understaffed that that would be where I would put somebody, but the budget really doesn't support. I know he's moving over and you were gonna take Jose over, but then you said he couldn't do the same level of equipment that one could.
Well, he could go and get his license and he could always plow with a small truck. But yeah, he would have to get his CDL
Right, so
and, for a bigger truck. But yes, but Juan has still got to plow with us like they do. So I'm not losing a person during plowing. Okay, Parks helps us plow also and cemetery. So.
I'm willing to, talk about switching them one for the other. But if
With-
you're taking Jose Junior and he can't plow,
He can,
or use all the equipment, you came and told me that he couldn't use all the equipment that one could, and then that would hurt you in the cemetery.
he
So, I mean, in the
does-
highway.
He doesn't dig. He doesn't use the excavator. Well, we have 4 employees that use our excavators of backup
Okay,
that are available anytime. When I said he does not have a CDL for a large truck, but he does plow with the small truck during storms. Yeah. Okay, so. And-
okay,
and
so
again,
we
Juan-
wanna, get him trained up and then make the move. I don't know, I'm just saying, if he's not everything highway needs, I don't wanna weaken the highway department either. And then also, Martha and I are trying to figure out, having an employee that can't communicate with their person who's overseeing them is a problem for me. I think there should be some minimal language skills that are required
I believe he does. have that.
to, okay, well then, if you are having trouble communicating what needs to be done with any of your workers, I think that's a problem that needs to be addressed, and if we send them for English as a second language class or whatever, that's important.
Well, let's drop back. So 9 years ago, that funeral homes didn't want to come to Dale. Okay, they
Right.
told me right out, we don't want to come here. Okay, so over that 9 years, even with them, I was able to operate and do it. But a lot of times I have to ask him 3 or 4 times. I don't understand. And not once in that time has he told me he doesn't understand. And if I say something, don't do this, they're doing it. You know, so I mean, again, they're good people. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I'm-
they're good people. I
I'm a
have
fussy
no
guy.
problem
I'm a
with that.
fussy guy. I like everything in order. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is why I see that being missed there. Okay, that's all.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
I know I could even take it to another level over there. Okay, leaning monuments, this, that, the other thing, that just annoys the heck out of me. They're not good managers. All
Right.
right, so,
You want oversight.
yeah, that's what it needs.
Okay,
It needs somebody that makes a few grand more a year, whatever. And hey, this is what I want you to do this week,
right.
this month, whatever.
Maybe I'm not interested in creating another title. I don't think you need a foreman for 2 people. Like one of them doesn't have to be the foreman. Like that's not something. If
It would've been
there could be a
assistant foreman.
stipend,
It would have been
either
assistant.
assistant foreman.
Because we have a foreman for parks and cemeteries.
Right,
But again, he's stretched. I know that. I've been saying that for years.
exactly. So if we're adding somebody, it's gonna be over there, but we don't have that in the budget, in the 2% tax cut
Okay.
either, so.
So-
You know, but
That was
if
my
you wanna
reasoning.
see if we can, no, understood, and it's valid reasoning, it's absolutely valid reasoning. And if we can maybe work toward getting Jose Junior trained to more machines or get his license, then maybe we can make that happen.
But don't miss the second part, that the operation of the place moving forward. Okay?
Mhm.
Because, again, no one's there forever, so,
I understand.
okay.
Does the cemetery positions fall under the Teamsters and the civil service?
Yes,
Yes, not the superintendent of cemeteries, but the cemetery workers, yes.
so they didn't used to, but we ended up putting them there a long time ago, and they're now maintaining the same as they're classified as park maintainers. or park.
So if the assistant foreman position was created, we don't have to go list, we just pick from our own.
I don't know. I don't even know if it's a title that exists.
The union president is on board with it,
Yeah.
so, yeah. In favor of it. In fact, we both had the same employee picked to do that transfer, so.
Go to highway. Okay, moving on to highway. For service time, for overtime, we have had to, I don't think we didn't budget anything for the overtime for the highway.
Well, this is just
For the
administrative.
administration, oh, sorry, for the administration, yes. For out of title, 0, telephone numbers at 0. Electricity, we have budgeted at $4,000. For repairs and maintenance of equipment, this includes the all makes, the martial alarms, and national standby, and any other emergencies. At $11,300 for highway.
This is.
This is OBNCC, right? Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
right.
That's why.
Yes, yeah, okay.
What is it?
It's the lift station that's in a park, so you have to put it in your general fund.
So this is the boat canoe club.
Yeah, it's a
Okay,
yeah,
Okay,
This person.
yeah, the first one's the vote, yeah.
I was gonna say it's awful low for the whole of them.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll happily have this.
You wish, yeah.
Get this monthly.
Then we have, the Pete Connolly for highway superintendent, a 2% increase from 2023. 10% of his salary is sent to the sewer district. We're going to have an office assistant, CSEA step 1 level in 2024. There's gonna be a new person in this title. And for that person also, their 10% of the salary is gonna be going to the sewer district. Bringing our total to $133,858. Longevity, we're gonna currently have nobody eligible for longevity. Sick pay incentive, we're gonna budget it at $1,000, again, depending on seeing how it goes forward. Health stipend, we're budgeting it at $5,000. Again, we're just trying to see how everything's gonna work out with the new person that's gonna be coming in and depending on whether or not they're gonna be taking it and stuff. In regards to the part-time workers, we are gonna be looking to hire a part-time intermediate clerk that's gonna be working in highway at $18 an hour. And it's gonna be for $16,380. What did I say? Oh. We'll look into putting that one in. In regards to equipment, for Jenny General Equipment, we have it at $4,000. Contractual, this includes the article cleaning at $365 a month, at $4,380. Moving on to the next page, for telephone, for cable and internet, as well as any office telephone bill, we're also gonna have 2 cell phone bills here, one for Pete Connolly, and then another one that's gonna be just a highway phone that's gonna be used, bringing our total to $3,520. Electricity at $6,875. Printing and postage at $200. Office and supplies expense. We have our first aid kit restock at $1,500 and any other general office supplies at $1,500, bringing the total to $3,000. The maintenance of the office equipment and leases at $1,140. Professional dues and meetings at $900. Conferences at $750. For labor council at $11,500. And our water charges here include the Village of Briarcliff water bills, which we're budgeting at $400, and Crystal Rock for the office at $600. Books at $0, and capital improvement expenses at $1,000. And then we have the following. Teamsters, their salary is based off of the 2023, because again, are awaiting a new contract that we are working with the Teamster Union at. So we have Mike Blanco on MEO, George Orlando MEO, Jason Clark, Hunter B, our road maintainers, Marcus Capello, outside of MEO, Victoria Solo, Kevin Moore, whose salary 10% of his charge to the sewer fund. And then we have Jose Castro, who's 2/3 of the 50% of his salary goes to cemetery. So that currently we have it budgeted at $626,360. The numbers are flying through my eyes right now. For part service overtime, we currently have it at $25,000. Longevity, we have it budgeted at $5,150. A majority of our workers at the highway department have met their longevity.
So is this new that Jose is charged to highway?
Yeah, that's new. Why is it on
It's gotta be switched.
the parks?
Basically, that $450 should be $650 up for one. And on the cemetery side, it's gotta be
It's
reversed
gonna
as
be
well.
reversed as well.
Right, 'cause
So-
originally we were,
We had one over there,
right,
but it's just a name switch. It's not a number switch.
it's a $200 number switch.
So
Okay, $200 number switch.
So Jose won't be on there at all.
No,
Right, okay.
Okay, so he has to be removed. So
Right.
Okay, for out of title, we have it at $13,000. Sick pay incentive at $4,000. Our part-time work, we have 2 seasonal employees, at $17 an hour. So that's brings us with $16,320. In regards to telephone, we have Kevin Moore's cell phone and at $480, $40 a month. For unleaded fuel, at $19,110. For diesel, $24,000. Maintenance and repair of the building and grounds at $15,000. Road material and maintenance, and this includes the drainage and guardrails at $41,350.
Drainage as in backhaul truck stuff.
There should be 2 seasonal
In season.
at
Yeah,
12 weeks, 24 weeks in the season. Spring and fall. We don't have a part-time at
Yeah,
15,
no,
which
yeah,
says
we got
next,
rid of that.
Yeah, that's
one,
zero.
right? Yeah, okay.
That's zero,
And,
yeah.
but the 2 seasonal, 17 an hour, 24 weeks per season. They can only work to 12 weeks, they stay away a month and come back for leaf season. I don't think that's, what is that? Okay.
I'll look at it. So there's supposed to be 24 weeks each.
Yeah, twice a year. That's what we're doing now,
12 weeks twice a year,
right?
12 weeks twice a year.
Yeah,
Right,
With
yeah.
interruption and
yes.
I'll
So
look
they
at
have to
that.
stay away a month and then they can, that's with Obamacare or whatever. And then they come back. They finished a year out, but by December 31st, they have to be finished
Yeah.
one way or the other, even though it's not 3 months.
We'll
Yeah, just check on that
I'll
one,
check-
please.
check on that
Yeah.
one, yeah. Going on to road paving at $25,000. For in-service training, this is our mandated pest training, dig safe confined space training at $6,500. Which our employees just had this week for all the fun things over there.
but that's why we didn't reach the 6,500 yet, right? For twenty
Yeah, because
twenty-three.
we didn't pay
Yeah,
for
they
it
haven't
yet.
paid it yet, no, yeah. No, yeah, they just had the training this week, so the invoice should be coming in shortly to pay for that.
Gotcha.
For the water charges, we have the bottled water for workers, at $1,000. And the capital improvement expenses, we currently don't have anything. Then on to the next page, for highway machinery, we have Chuck, his salary at $96,990 and Alan Sanchez at $67,487. Part service overtime at $1,000, longevity for Chuck, at $850. Equipment at $25,000. General parts and labor of $135,000. On to electricity. At $4,500. Heat at $15,700. Materials and supplies at $2,500. Maintenance and repairs of buildings and grounds for highway at $14,000. And water charges at $1,500. For weeds and brush at $2,000. Uniforms at $5,000. Repairs and maintenance of equipment at $2,500. And tree planting and maintenance, which includes our tree removal and our arborist at $50,000. Moving on to our snow removal. We have snow. Snow,
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah,
Right.
but this doesn't look good for this year, so.
No, we have it at $80,000, no longevity there, out of title work of $6,000. Contractual at $1,000, materials and supplies of $400. For salt, $80,000. For sand, $1,500, and liquid calcium at $6,000.
I have a question. I know this forecast for this winter is gonna be different, but let's just say we have another winter like we've been having, and they don't need a lot of snow removal. Are they allowed to move some of that 80,000 in the snow removal budget to the paving budget?
It would go into fund balance and then we would pay that fund balance.
Because 25,000 for paving. I'm assuming.
No, that's patchwork paving.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's kind of potholes.
oh,
That's tight too, but.
The real
Potholes.
paving goes
Okay.
into a
Yeah.
capital project, which is the last thing we're doing.
okay.
Right, yeah,
I'm just trying
you're
to
right.
get you more money. in there.
Yeah, I appreciate that, yeah. I hope it doesn't snow. You're right.
Right now, I just don't know what's allowed. It's
Right,
not
the
allowed to-
$80,000, we actually already put a purchase order out, so we're guaranteed to do that, and
Yeah, yeah.
because we didn't use as much salt, we're actually If it doesn't start wanting, if we don't start using salt, we're gonna have to actually pay them storage to store the salt that we already asked for.
I took 6 loads yesterday. We're making another spot. The
Okay.
village has made another spot also. Everybody's in the same boat. Either you pay them or you try to find,
A place to put it, yeah.
you're required to tell them how much you want at minimum. And that's what happened last year.
So soon,
Alright.
Can you just talk about that, Pete? Pete, what's, the planting, tree planting and maintenance? Why do you go up so much? Do we have unexpected planting or unexpected maintenance?
Just the maintenance.
Just the
I
maintenance,
tell you,
right?
Ange, that's-
well, all the ash trees are dying from the
Yeah.
upper left border,
Yeah, and
all
stuff
those.
That
the
includes
beech trees.
pruning, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of trees dying
Yeah.
from these invasive species. that are
Spotted
costing us a
lantern fly is out there now and all that.
What do you anticipate this year? Then you anticipate same
Worse.
type of work? So you think
No,
that number is okay then? You're-
we have a new vendor also who's a lot better
Oh, yeah,
and he gives us a better bang for the buck.
better price?
Yeah.
Okay.
I took 14 trees down off my property, but
Did you? Yeah,
great.
you have the hemlocks? Yeah, yeah. They have the woolly adlet or something like that in there, yeah.
Willie Dalton.
I did, okay.
Yeah.
I knew, that was close.
You were close.
Began with an A.
No, you're
Correct.
Then the personal service overtime, that just, some money left over for the rest of the year, right? November, December?
No, that's for people who are overtime plowing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what that's there for November and December.
Yeah.
We're gonna come in under it looks like, but hopefully.
So you have one.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just.
2020, so well. COVID, yeah, well.
Okay.
Yeah, no, you can't
Snow
tell
removal,
what it's gonna be,
we're hoping for not that brutal of a winter.
but
I would like a fence to come down.
Okay, moving on to sanitary or sewer, this is where the 10% of Pete Connolly salary starts to, as well as 10% for the office assistant, again, it's gonna be a new person in that title. And 10%, so Kevin Moore's salary is also charged here, so currently we have it at $24,927. Service for overtime at $5,000, no one here for longevity or nobody or for part-time work. For standby personal, we have it at $6,500. Equipment at $7,924. Nothing for telephone, electricity wise, we have $30,025. Consulting services none here. Repair and maintenance of equipment at $80,000 and intermunicipal contractor at $150,000. Next, then we have on to our refuse, which is our garbage pickup. We have printing and postage, which includes our we collect software as well as our printing of garbage calendars at $4,200. Our intermunicipal contracts for refrigerator pickup and leaf disposal IMA at Water Street as well as others at $27,400. Our refuse for the county of Westchester at $60,000. Our contractor refuse, which has with Suburban Carting, at $610,896. And our recycling, waste and disposal at the town of Portland Manor, as well as other environmental waste, blacktop to Peckham, and green waste recycling fees, at $12,000.
Did that contract go down this year? Because it was open for bid? Didn't it go down, the garbage?
For Suburban
I
Carting.
heard it went down, yeah, the Suburban, or he actually came in lower to make sure he got it. Or no, it was
He
a
did.
6,
The bid last
Last
year,
year, yeah.
we did the bid last year, not this year.
okay.
So, yeah, part of the contract.
516,000, I think it was.
Oh, so this is,
It goes up by CPI every year,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
so it's not going.
okay, yeah, but it's, did it last year? The first year that they renewed? No, okay, okay. I thought he, to win
What
the
was the biggest
contract.
reason? The pump stations?
Yeah, this one's,
Is there definitely pump stations?
where are we in this?
No, it's been increasing.
Oh, sewer, yeah, the pump stations,
That's
they're
all that-
ridiculous.
Yeah, no, Pete, I was just saying on the sewers and the sanitation sewer system, repair the maintenance, right? It
Yeah.
was supposed to be 80 and we're on 138 already.
Oh, we got hit by lightning.
Oh, well, that's what I'm saying, that's,
So we got a reimbursement of 32,000 for that,
Mhm.
for new controls and pumps. And we always maintain, every station has a spare pump at the highway, so they had to be rebuilt. We had to switch over to do that, but yeah, like Liz says, they're tough.
Wow.
Yeah, every one of those stations is tough.
Yeah, and
But-
we got
They
the
cost
check
us a
back for
fortune.
Yeah.
those, which we
Right.
did, so we're
50,
depositing it this
50,000.
week, I left it down.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, they're not done.
Yeah, all good there, okay. And then last up, we have, well, I'll take it for revenues. We have for road opening permits, we're anticipating at $6,481. For minor sales of recyclables at 1,000 and surplus of equipment, we don't have to for that, just to see what's going on for the following year. And that's it for the highway. Well, everything else. Everything else is a no, paving everything. Any questions, concerns? And then our capital projects and equipment, that's gonna be at our next meeting after we meet the parts. So that's,
In a little while.
yeah, in a little while, yeah.
Today?
Yeah.
Today, yeah.
Oh, what time's it?
We're gonna do capital.
Right after Mario goes through park,
Right,
so grab a
We
cup
give
of
her
coffee.
5 minutes.
Yeah, and then
I'll
together
take
with
this
the
one.
capital would vote.
Okay, that's it. Any questions?
He's up next.
He's up next. I'm gonna text him right now to let him know.
You're good.
I'm just gonna run downstairs and check them.
Figure it out.
Okay.
Okay,
So you got a couple of minutes.
Yeah, an hour.
okay, yeah.
Recording
All right.
time. And we are continuing our budget hearings with our Parks Department, Foreman Mario Velardo is here to join us. Okay.
So starting off, we have salaries for our full-time employees. And the parks, we have Mario, Mark, Alvin. Alvin, yes, and that's coming up to $275,359. Again, this is all gonna be revisited once a new contract is approved by the Teamsters. Regards to overtime, we currently have $40,000 budgeted. Longevity, we have Mario and the two Jose's and Mario and Mark have reached the longevity. Alvin has not as of yet reached the threshold. So we have it at $1,500. For out of title work, we have $7,000. Sick pay incentive, we have it at $4,000. For part-time, we have part-time laborers, we have one, that's gonna be at $22.35. And then we're gonna have, I think we're still looking at bringing somebody over to help in part-time in the groundskeepers at $16 an hour.
We have that on 116 instead of 17.
Yeah, this was at $16. Remember, this is for the gentleman that we were supposed to hire to look at the pavilions, but we weren't
Oh,
able to
okay.
this year.
Okay,
So I'm still budgeting in for next year if you want to do that for next year.
okay, thank you.
Just let me know in regards to that one, okay? For custodial, we have, oh wait, maybe.
Oh, and we have
Hold
the
on.
seasonal down here, okay, that's what I
Yeah,
was wondering.
So then we have the seasonal or, hold on.
Oh, no, the part-time park attendants on when it's on 7/11.
Hold on, let me
7/10.
just look at these two ones again. I need to revisit these. I may have gotten them swapped. But we did budget in for under the custodial, we have budgeted 2 seasonal park rangers, approximately $26 each, for $500 hours during the summer season to look at the parks. We're gonna be talking to Westchester County about that. In regards to equipment, we have currently at $3,500. Cell phones, we have Mario Velarde's cell phone, as well as the phone and the internet, and the Ryder Park phone and internet at $4,280. Electricity at $56,845. Heat at $8,500. Unleaded fuel at $14,900. Materials and supplies, which include our cleaning supplies, at $5,000. Uniforms, we currently have it at $1,650. Again, this is all gonna be revisited, seeing on how we do with the Teamsters contract, but that's what we've had it estimated as of right now. Consulting services at $10,000. In-service training at $3,000. Repairs to the automotive equipment at $17,000. As well as water charges to $50,000 for 2024. In regards to the maintenance of ball fields and lights at $14,000. And repair and maintenance of park facility at $1,223,260. Another tree service here at $15,500. And nothing as of yet for the capital improvement project.
I understand something on the maintenance of the ball fields. The number is for the appropriation actual for this year was over 97.
That he rebuilt the entire field with fence.
Okay, so that was a one time.
Well, there's other fields that they wanna do.
But this
yeah.
particular, no,
This particular number happens to be because the Finch Field cost, and then every time they put the seed down, it rained and washed it away.
right?
And a lot of other
I think that-
unexpected costs. Well, you go ahead and you
The
can. speak to
dugout,
that.
the dugouts, we did the concrete and the dugouts drainage. Like everything all tied into, over the years, tied into this one project. After doing the fence, because everything was based off the fence.
Mhm.
And then elevations changed, which we didn't know
Oh.
till after the fence, yeah, so it was, there was. The Finch Field was a mess.
We also included the bleachers for Ryder Park in this line for almost $21,000. You had $32,640 for the concrete in the dugouts. To do the dugouts.
The major upgrade came out beautiful, everything came out nice. Cars are protected, fans are protected now with the fences and.
Yeah, the fencing was an actual capital.
You see it?
Yeah, that was reflected there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Summer, my son went through there with.
But we had done a budget adjustment for the bleachers
Okay.
and the dugouts already. So that's why you can see the budget is set at 123,216.
Yes.
Because we did two different budget adjustments during the year.
Safe to say those two fields would just be maintenance from that one for a very long time, except the middle field, we still have to deal with the field issues one time.
In time. We gotta do the drainage first.
Drainage.
Yeah, we gotta do the drainage before.
Well, I
we
was
do-
there picking rocks the other day for Sally Swope, and I found a pipe, so I opened it. And water, it was crazy,
Came gushing
water
up?
shot up like 6 feet in the air, a spring, I'm assuming it's a spring. It's just. Someone did something there years ago,
Where was
just,
the rock? Over by the tennis
there used to
court?
be a rock wall there, no, that hill. There used to be a rock wall
Okay.
with football field, showed
Yeah,
pictures years ago,
Mhm.
there used to be a wall there, bleachers used to be behind it.
Mhm.
So I picked those rocks out of there, so I was there, I saw the pipe, because there was just so much water. And see if it dries up a little bit.
That's probably makes the reason why. it's-
So rock fell on a pipe.
Makes sense.
And I think that's it with that.
Good with that one. Okay. All right, where's Pete?
Sweet, okay.
All right, so pause that again. Find
Give me
Pete.
one second. That's it, no
He
other
just left.
question?
Gotta come back. No.
That's
He
it,
left.
nothing else?
He knows he has to come back. And continuing our budget hearings, talking about our 2024 to 2028 capital plan.
So we'll start with cemetery first. Share the screen. Okay. So for cemetery, we have in for cemetery equipment, request for a riding grass mower. At $40,000. And in regards to capital projects, we have the walkway and flagpole replacement. That we are currently not planning on doing 2024, but possibly in 2025 at $20,000. Monument repairs at Sparta Cemetery, starting in 2024 at $17,500, and then for the years 25, 26, 27, and 28 at $15,000. And there also was an addition fix of wall at Kilbrook.
Which now came in at 84,500.
And that we're kind of looking at maybe possibly getting some grant funding. I know that we had discussed that possibility.
We're talking to FEMA about that one. Just a question on that, that's to restore what was there, correct? You know, FEMA requires to restore, to
Yeah.
put a wall back where there was a wall.
Yes, but it's not a replacement in kind. It's a replacement in the fashion that the other side of the wall was replaced some time ago, with gabion walls. So
Okay.
it's removing existing stone, resetting those stones, but only after a gabion wall is installed to support the road failure.
Okay, so you'll help me word that for FEMA, which part was replaced in kind, I think is what they'll cover, and then which part is on
Sure. Is FEMA submitting? Is there
it? Yeah,
existing
FEMA's
applications?
asking for this,
Okay, sure.
they're trying to get to the level for the whole county, so they've been asking everybody for their projects, and this is the one that happened to us.
Okay.
Thank you.
So are we going, is everybody, like with regards to the plan
Um,
and the use? I know, do you wanna discuss the writing basket more? I know that has been a question I'll be able to put down.
that's a regular grass mower, not an electric mower,
Electric.
that one's electric?
Yeah.
We demoed the electric, not to speak,
Go
but
ahead.
we demoed the X marks, they're coming out,
Mhm.
and we were pretty impressed with them, we demoed it at Ryder Park with Austin More.
Okay,
We did a riding one and then a stand-on one. The riding one was a protocol one. They still have some tweaks for it. But we were impressed. They were cutting high grass, white grass. I mean, for electric, we weren't cutting all day, but you're supposed to get 6, 7 hours of cutting on them. And like I said, we were all impressed,
okay, so I am.
but it's a lot of money.
I have a grant for electrification. And, it's for 76,000. So I took the list that Mario had given me of, what it would take to electrify, maintaining one park. I think that grant's already out, but I can talk to the grant writers and see if they've sent that yet, or if it can be modified. I think I did put down 2 electric mowers, so we can see who gets what with those 2.
Just be careful at Dale because of the weight distribution with the machines. That's all. We have to try these out. We can't use Skag at Dale because of the monuments and the hills. The
Okay.
Skag weight distribution, the guys just slide. So we stick with the X mark and hopefully the X mark electric will be okay. But we'll figure all that out.
Okay, I just have to be careful that, again, we're trying for grant funding, so, it's gonna be a specific voucher replacement.
How fast is the recharge rate,
You'd have to charge it tonight. I forget what it was.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you, do we have to do infrastructure improvements if we get these at the cemetery?
Yes, and that's included.
And parts.
So there's a $30,000, there's a $30,000 infrastructure, setting up the electric charging area, upgrading the electrical, setting up the outlets, setting up the sockets. Probably preferably in a separate area. To get the air, to be able to charge all of the equipment that we're looking at.
How'd that happen? Can I send somebody out to do all that?
No, we hire
We hire our own.
a nice electrician to charge us lots of money. Now, we go to our annual bidder.
And then you guys are also not gonna know how it's gonna perform on the hills as far as how long the battery's gonna last.
I think we can go with a demo ahead of purchase, right? Yeah, yeah.
What's the size of it? What's the inches? What's the?
The riding machine was 60 and the stand-on was 52. And we did demo, just to give heads up, we did demo without mulching decks. They didn't have mulching decks on them. But they make them. And so that also, because you asked the questions, that drains battery life as well.
Yeah.
So we're looking
They're-
at having an extra battery.
On
What'd you ask for?
the ridings you can't,
Okay,
because you can't take the batteries out. So basically, once you got to charge, he'll tell you when it's low, when you gotta go to charge, if you don't listen to it, shame on you, because then you gotta.
Yeah,
push it up the hill.
But, It has all that technology, but it's got to charge for like 8-10 hours, I believe it was. So
And what
basically,
does
you
it
gotta
say?
charge that night before you leave.
What does it say its useful time is?
They were saying 7 to 8, but with the mulching deck, it'll probably be about 6. It depends too, grass is wet, all depends on the amount of, when you're mulching leaf season. Much,
What kind of maintenance schedule are they looking at, like, on these electric?
there's really no maintenance.
No?
There's a couple grease fittings, everything, yeah, it's wild. There is hydraulic, a little bit of hydraulic oil, but that's the only.
Blade cutting, all that, the tires.
Blades, yeah, but as far as like replacing oil and spark plug, it's just. It's crazy.
You say you guys tried to stand up and to sit down?
Yeah.
What should you like better?
I mean, I would say, they were both great.
Okay.
I mean, so
Same
cemetery, I
size
kind of want to get
batteries?
a stand-up one, just because with the bigger machine, it's tough in tighter areas.
Right.
But no, they were both pretty, they were side by side and they really did a good job.
Wow.
I mean, we only demoed it for 2 hours, so about, but
Yeah, I guess the real test is throwing it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
we could probably
See
get
how it
the,
works out for you guys.
we could probably demo the stand-up one and bring it to the cemetery.
Okay.
Just to see.
See how fast it
On
works
the
for you.
steepest hill.
That one's out, the riding machine will be out next year.
Section one.
Does-
Stand-up one is out.
Does
now.
the plug-in, is it the same as like a type 2 charger? Or is, or
A regular.
regular 120?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why it takes 8 hours, because you have half the amperage.
Right.
Okay,
We'll get plenty of time at the end of the day.
yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, by midnight.
Well, you just gotta remember to plug in at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's just it. I'll find out.
So we're gonna try for the wall. And, because we have to do the wall, we're gonna try to put the walkway and flagpole out one more year, okay, Pete?
Monument repairs are done by a company that we have.
What?
The monument repairs are done by a
Yeah,
company. an
every
outside
year,
company?
yeah. We've been concentrating this year and, hope next year on Sparta, where as before the other 6 years, it's all Dale. Yeah.
So we're keeping the grass mower for 2024? Do you wanna see how we go on further?
For now, yes.
I think they should try it out, see how it works, make our infrastructure at the cemetery put in place.
Just a note, any of these projects aren't going to be an official go until we do a capital budget adjustment approved by the board.
Okay.
So this is just a flex plan, you know, at this point.
Moving on to highway,
Real quick, does the town have to get approval through every one of these projects through a resolution, or you just do an overall resolution for the capital plan
Individually.
individually?
As we establish them as a separate capital project.
next up, we have a request in highway for a brush chipper at $123,000. And also pickup truck with a plow for $58,000. Bringing the total to $180,000. In regards to highway projects, we have the stormwater drainage engineering study, which we are looking at getting grant funding from, $300,000. Road paving at Shannon Drive at $700,000. And road paving to Country Meadows, we're looking at moving into 2025 at $450,000. Repairs to the office roof, we're moving into 2025 at $63,000. But also it's still pending other decisions that are gonna be made in regards to the highway,
Correct.
location, correct?
Yeah.
So that brings our total, for highway projects at, for 2024 to $1 million, and for 2025 at $513,000. So that's up for
All right,
discussion.
so. Talk to me, Dale, where are we finding this money for road paving?
You're going to have to borrow it. You have a
All right,
small
so-
piece of chips, but that's.
We have like $50,000 in chips at that. So the board has to really think about, do we want to borrow in? Is this not the right time to borrow? Is this? Yeah, like I think getting some of this infrastructure work is my priority. My priorities for this year really are to get the paving done, you know, at least this chunk of paving done, getting some infrastructure done there and getting the direct storm water runoff, the drainage studies done so that our houses and businesses stop flooding out. So those are my two priorities for the year, rebuilding, especially if FEMA, you know, anything else that can be covered by grant funding. Great, but you know, any capital financing. I do understand we need snow plows, that these trucks are old. And a brush chipper is you know, is an essential tool for any highway department, and my understanding is that one's on its last legs.
It's,
I mean, can that be pushed out or?
over 20. The trouble with that is, it's not just the age. So last year, Morbark made single axle, and we've had the frame fixed twice. It's just too much weight, and they realized that too, and now they come out with double axle. So it was just welded again. So it goes out every Friday and during storms. And that's why I asked, and these are legit prices. I think it's just time. It's might come to be a safety issue, or it's gonna have to come off the road with that frame.
How old is it?
About over 20 years old. Yeah, but they don't make single axle anymore because the manufacturer realized the weight was too great. We were one of the last ones to get the single axle. It's a good machine when it was, you know, new, but I think it's time. So
Is it diesel or gas?
that one is diesel.
All right, so you feel like this is a priority for this year,
I
that
think
you're
so
not
with
gonna make
that-
it another
With the
year?
frame concerns, yes.
Okay,
Are they readily available or are they like the vehicles and the trucks that go out?
No, I
to pick
think,
it up?
I see him at Brewster going to hockey rink. They're all lined up over there. Yeah, it is a nice place. Yeah. The salesman says he can get them, so
Are you guys gonna sell the old one?
we'll auction them probably, yeah.
Is this something you guys are gonna ban or bond, yeah? For this?
The pickup truck,
No, I'm saying for the whole 1.18 million. Are you like,
oh, we do.
well, they're different, you know, they're
different useful lives?
lives.
Yeah,
So basically, if we're gonna do the road paving at $700,000, it's gonna cost us about $65,000 in the next year's budget.
And the stormwater drainage engineer, is that townwide or is that a certain area? Townwide.
That's the 4 locations what have the problems now.
Right, that doesn't count. Like Crotondale, or
Now, with
that's our 4 trouble areas.
Minkle, Redway.
Mhm.
The Ryder Park pond and that drainage area there, the collapsed wall on Morningside and North State Corridor.
So the worst areas in the town, not like the entire town.
Does that have to be-
Again, we're working with a CREST grant, trying to get a CREST grant, and Senator Harcum has been very open to, at least helping us partially fund this study. So we've been talking, and we have a meeting, on election day, if you'd like to join us, anybody, when you're off.
Will be budget
I'll be
meetings.
Really?
Early.
Okay, all right.
Does the stormwater drainage engineering study have to be done before we pave the non?
No, different area.
Oh, so it doesn't want to affect this study, because
No.
water park and all.
Pete, you said that
No,
you,
you're above right.
at first, we thought we had to do we had to do drainage before we paved Ganong, but now you feel like we don't have to do drainage work before we pave
Oh, no,
Ganong, right?
I have one catch basin I'd love to put in from Slater that always makes an icy condition, similar to what we did on Tappan. To get
Is that
rid of
included in the price?
Well, we'll see what it comes in at. If not, I'm even thinking if I get a good mild winter, I would like to bang that out.
The roads that come off Ganong, is that included in this?
Yes,
Yes,
yes. And
so it would be the whole neighborhood.
I'm hoping curbing, Paul, asphalt maybe?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about just the paving in the all the little cul-de-sacs up there too, but, milling and paving.
Mhm.
But not everywhere needed a curb, so I think when we put this budget together, we just did spot repair of curbing and not all new curbing, and definitely not concrete.
Okay. I'm already gonna have to borrow for it, so, I mean, but if we're gonna do it, we should do it.
Paul, what's the infrastructure underneath Ganong? Is it, just water, sewer? There's no gas on Ganong, you know? No
I
gas,
don't
right?
think so.
No gas.
It's just water, sewer,
Yeah.
pipes underneath.
I think the road's original. I got an idea.
Hello?
Yeah,
No, it's paved,
was it?
the hill, I don't know how far,
No, they only went halfway up.
Yeah,
With a
oh,
little
okay.
spot, yeah.
maybe 15, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
So this is Decker, Tuttle, Slater, Parker. Well, and Robin also.
Speaking of gas that you just mentioned, we just got an alert from Con Ed that we cannot dig next to any gas main from now on unless there's a back off until further notice, because what happened probably.
Yes, that I just yesterday.
Yeah, so it's like, just so you know, with the sewer or anything, you're gonna have to get one in, we're gonna have to, because ours is getting worked on right now, but
Really?
yeah.
Mm.
that just
Wait,
came
say
out
that
today.
again?
So if there needs to be a dig on sewer, water, stormwater next to a gas main,
Mhm.
you cannot work there unless you have a back off. Backing it out right now. Con Ed just announced it.
Oh, so
emergencies.
vacuuming out the confined space just in case gas.
No, vacuuming, they're actually sucking the dirt out of the ground next to the gas main instead of using a backhoe after, so they just announced it today until
The reason-
further notice.
The reason for
Yeah.
that explosion in Wapanger is because the contractor nicked the gas main with a bucket,
Mhm.
supposedly.
15
That's what
people
they're
just
surviving right now.
How they change?
Not died. Got hurt. I don't know.
So
Okay.
pull the, did he pull the service out of the house?
Three of them that are.
That's what happened on Sherwood Avenue.
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's what made a leak in the house, and they found an ignition source, and that's it.
3 are in critical condition.
Yeah.
And the other like 12 are hurt, so.
Right.
And that's, you know what, just so everybody's aware, that's why we, the town and the village have the annual bid.
Pull it if you do break.
And in these situations, you call Cook or you call Hydrovac and they can come out at an hourly rate, so. Pete knows that. You can call Cook or you can call Hydrovac. Yeah. But just.
I don't like their hourly rate. Kidding. They're good.
Country Meadows is a town road, right? Country Meadows.
Yes.
Right next to me, so if you have a service or a main.
I don't know how.
That's
far
where
away.
Fran is.
Yeah, I got you, that's like President Road and all that. Country
It's
Meadows.
safer
I just
way.
thought that was their own. Yeah, just check.
Crazy.
Pete, are we sure Country Meadows is not, its own private road?
Yeah, I think all they do there is, the grass.
The landscape.
It was originally, I think. We
Mhm.
can check on, we
And
can
the
check
town
on
fee,
that.
we
Only
should
thing
check
left
it.
is, grass cutting. They all chip in for it. I think there's 26 homes there.
All right, yeah, let's just make sure
Yeah.
the town owns that road.
Oh, no, we
before we-
plowed and everything, and, yeah, that's.
How would you like to see that?
So. I mean, I'm in favor of. I hate to go for debt financing right now because the rates are up, but we'll be able to hold off until.
We wouldn't borrow until our renewal, which is in August, so hopefully the rates would be lower. We just don't. No, they're not, the Fed just kept it.
Yes, yesterday there was a change. And so the Fed was supposed to make a.
They
They
kept
kept
it
it the
flat.
same, so they kind of think it's gonna go that way. And that was my question to Dale is. And I don't know this answer, Dale does. If you take a 5-year ban versus a bond, when technically are you allowed to refinance?
A year later,
A year later,
Yeah.
so that's,
that's why I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah. yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we can refinance at a lower rate
No penalty.
if it goes down, okay,
Yeah, you have to, it's a renewal, you
So
renew,
that's-
it. You can renew
that's
for
key.
5 years.
and then you have to go to bond
Or pay off,
or pay off.
unless it was during the COVID period, which gave you 7 years.
Okay, and then, okay. So what's your thoughts, Matt?
I don't like putting on any of these projects if we can avoid it, because I think the costs are gonna go up, and I think that we'll have more projects to tackle. So I think this is a prudent approach, and, I'm for the expenditures for 2024, and if push back some to 2025. If that's the advice, I think it's sensible.
I'm okay with the brush chipper and the pickup truck, even if we order the pickup truck, probably won't be here till 2025.
It won't be here
right?
for a
So,
year or
yeah,
two.
we can't kick it down, because then it puts it a year later, so.
Only thing I'd like to ask is about the roof.
Mhm.
I think it was 18,000 at the trailer roof, the 2 trailers. I think. Well, you come down from the gas station, you can see the top of our roof is nothing but rust. You know, it's a metal roof, and I think it was 18,000 to have it at least sealed. So,
Oh, we had an estimate of 63,000 here, so,
well, that was if we wanted to insulate it. From,
I think we need to,
Yeah.
I think we need to
Russ Watt
understand.
heat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we, I mean, they are temporary trailers, they've been there a lot longer than temporary, that we could get away with the 18,000, just have them coated. Might be the way to go. They're not leaking yet, but again, stop at the gas station behind Mrs. Green's and look at the office, and they're in rough shape.
Is there an
Can we put
expectation
some
that
Rust-Oleum on
you
it?
replace those all together?
What's that?
Are you thinking that down the road, either near term or long term, that you abandon that location and you move into an office space? or you-
Absolutely. Yeah,
So,
that's always on the
Well,
table.
that's our thinking is,
Yeah.
we're trying to understand what happens with the GE property and if there's
Yes.
gonna be property available for us to explore building a highway garage, and I don't really wanna throw money away to somebody whoever
Yeah.
comes into that space is just gonna get rid of the trailer. It's not like the trailer is the highlight of the property.
I agree. Yeah.
So, I would like to understand what happens with the GE property before, and will there be an availability for us to have a
Okay.
place to build before we start investing in even expensive repairs.
And the other thing too is if you go with the $18,000 number,
Mhm.
you only need 3 proposals. You don't have to spend, $1,000 of rust doing bid specs. Because it's not above 30,000.
I guess you can lose those. I could say so, it's not,
Yeah.
this is gonna do it, or we, but I just gotta see.
You might be able to find
We'll see.
We wanna get out of there.
Yeah.
No, Matt, I agree with you 100%. I mean, that's, we're 0.66 of an acre there, we need 3. So, so that's
In my
a
mind.
long range, yeah, but are we going to make it to that point?
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, that's
concerned
what I'm asking, you
that
know?
you don't
And
have
is
to-
it just, is it actually rusting through, or is it at this point just doesn't look good and we can put some Rust-Oleum on there to kind of bind that up and give it a couple years?
Well,
Okay.
the point is, you don't wanna throw good money after bad, but by the same token, if you were to spend hypothetically $63,000 and you bought 5 or 6 years of time in that, in providing a usable workspace, that could be the time frame that we need before we decide that we wanna relocate those workers or that workspace.
I mean, even if you were relocating, it wouldn't be tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, no, it would be a couple years, yeah.
So that's why some
Yeah.
investment makes sense.
Yes.
All right, well, if you think it's structural, which we lost our engineer, but,
Russ inspected it.
Russ inspected,
He
what
did
did he
both
think?
theater. We just did the mechanics garage last year, this year.
Yes, we just fixed
And
that.
where the guys park,
Hey, but
Hey, Bo,
how are you?
there's a chair down there somewhere. Guys, make them.
so,
Yeah, we got the same.
All right,
I mean-
so so
It's the-
board members, do you wanna put, the 18,000 into code to buy some, or do you
I
wanna,
would definitely go with the 18,000 voted.
or do you wanna do the 63 to insulate and coat it? I mean, just do it.
If we
I
do
mean,
the
that's-
18, we have to put it in capital.
that's,
No, you could put it in.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, so let's try that.
I will keep the 63 to 2025, because we
We'll
don't
keep
know,
the
but then if we
63
could find,
for-
if we could find 18 and operating,
All right, we'll look crazy now.
Operating. Spot in it. Yeah, I think that would be best. Cause like you said, you never know.
You know, there's a big wish list here and the Teamsters have a big wish list as well. So, you know, there's only so much money within the 2% tax cap that we can do, so.
And I can only tell you what is needed.
Yeah.
So.
I get it, and we're gonna try to balance,
Yeah, I
yeah,
know, I understand.
so we're trying to figure out, so, you know,
Okay.
the 2 trucks, I think you do need, from what I understand, and the chipper, I think you do need. So, you know,
How badly do you need the chipper?
that's just, that's,
Chipper
yeah,
is,
Axle.
Yeah.
With the
Oh,
axle.
that's the axle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no,
Trees are coming down at a better pace.
and the storms are stronger, so, yeah, that was my first. We'll put that right there.
Dennis.
And the Ganum project was, you know,
Yeah.
the residents have been looking for that for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that too. so,
Understand every neighborhood's looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, my neighborhood too, when the neighbors, you know, the housing was built in the 60s. There hasn't been, the road has never been repaved. And I said,
I
well,
don't
wait a
think
minute.
that's true.
No, I've been there since, 80, it's never been repaved, so there are spots that have been worked on, so I say, wait a minute. If we repave this whole road, 6 months later, they'll have to dig a hole here to fix a water main, and then there'll be patches, and then they'll fix another section of it, then you'll say you want it repaved again. Let's leave it the way it is for now.
That's why it was asked the question, what's underneath? Yeah, what's underneath?
Well,
Yeah,
we
okay,
reach
we
out
need
to
to-
Con Ed and we asked Con Ed, are you coming in the next 5 years
Oh,
with improvements or something? Or, you know, do you have something, you gotta fix a lot of leaks or whatever? And that's what happens a lot in Binkle and Redway. There's a lot of leaks in the bracket.
Yeah.
So, but I think if Con Ed stays out 5 years, it's a good thing, right?
Right.
You know, so we do reach out and ask them and they ask us, what's your plans for this year?
Andy, any ideas to do the water main recoding or anything? Is that happening up there? Where? In Ganum. I'm Ganum, is that?
I remember it was last time. Was that done it wasn't done in the 90s, right?
Ganum?
Yeah, I'll have to look to see.
Because, you know, well.
We'll have to look at the last break,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
See how they.
I'm sorry, I do have sweet potato chips and popcorn for you as well.
They go down the way.
Yeah, I decided not to.
Oh.
I meant to get bagels. I dropped the ball. I admit it.
So how would you like to go? Keep it the way it is, or are we moving something?
We're gonna change your repairs to the office to 1,800 in this year.
Well, that's gonna go under operating, right? We're not gonna-
1,000, sorry.
But that's gonna go under operating, it's not gonna go under capital project, correct? Dan?
We'll sit
Right.
down. Yeah.
Okay, so,
Okay,
Right.
and we're keeping repairs to the office strip and pushing it to 2025 at 63. And we're,
That is in 2025.
2025, sorry, oh my gosh, 23. And then the brush chipper and the pickup truck with the plow.
2 pickup trucks. Oh, pickup truck, sorry, I'm looking at 2, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, we're
I'll
getting
take
that.
2 Liz if you want.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
No.
so everybody knows, it's just the order, like 1, 2,
Yeah, I
3,
see it.
it's not like we're
Okay.
ordering 2
Oh,
brush chippers. Just for everybody to be aware, I don't want anyone to be confused.
yeah, that was getting me, I admit it.
Sorry, so are we gonna, so the brush chipper definitely for 2024?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the pickup truck with the plow?
yes.
20, okay, got it, okay. Moving along now then. Okay, to sewer. Sewer project, the only thing we have here is the Cedar Lane sewer lift station.
And we need that.
$80,000, and that's gonna go from the sewer fund.
That's the one to get off the one from Sunshine. Apparently, they even put their own padlock over our lock. You know, the Sunshine Home is now operating a larger hospital. The new addition has come online. I think it's a health department problem just waiting to happen, and it's not like there's some. We don't want to be associated with that pump station. We need to get off of it. I've been talking about this for years. We need to do this. I know that it costs money, but this we need to do. Like, it's a problem waiting to happen that will be much more than $80,000. So,
So 80's for the equipment and the.
80's for
and
the
job to
station.
do it?
Yes.
The flow has increased there. I was just there yesterday with the operator, so it's gonna put more wear and tear on pumps and everything else, so, yeah.
we don't want to be responsible.
And not to flow from us. The
Flow for the hospital.
The flow from the hospital, so
Yeah.
it's actually infrastructure that's owned by the hospital. That there was some type of an agreement or gentleman's agreement years ago, that when the art center, started sending the sewage to them, that the town would maintain. Then what happened is,
The health
they upgraded the system through the state health department, not with the local health department. Put a couple $100,000 into it, generator, the controls, pumps, that kind of stuff. They invested a lot of stuff, but now they kind of took ownership of it. We definitely need to separate, because you're not supposed to send our sewage to another community.
Need to consider the discharge line too. You're gonna need an easement since it goes through the park now. And if you're gonna pull yourself off of the main,
Mhm,
I'm sorry, if you're gonna pull yourself off of the pump station
mhm,
and have no connection to it,
mhm.
their discharge line still comes through the park, correct?
Yeah,
So you're gonna-
yeah, he's right. Their discharge line still comes through Osling's property out to the force station.
So we need to give them an easement for that,
Yeah, once we finish our infrastructure, that should be negotiated there.
because we need to do drainage in that area, and we need to dig in that area, we need to make our own line, sewer line, we need to do the drainage in the area. We're also looking at paving and redoing the courts in that area, like there's a lot of projects planned for that specific area. And the first thing we have to do is understand where the utilities and get the drainage done before we can put anything on there. So, so you'll help guide me through whatever, or to Christie through whatever that easement agreement is, and do we want them to go out to the main on their own property, or do we want to give, I don't understand how all that.
I don't even really know if that's
A thing,
possible.
Because then we'd have to
Because of the
extend
pitch.
our main down the road.
Right.
We'd have to extend the main that the town owns down the road. to
into
meet their
Newcastle, no,
property
we're
line.
not.
That kind of, so like the cost of that 80,000 is a generator at the yard center that'll run the sewage pumps, a supervisory control system, and then also tying in the actual infrastructure in the ground.
Okay,
Is there different models of lift stations, like capacities, like, so if, say the cedar lane expands the park for some reason, something happens up there. Would this be sufficient enough to handle? those
I mean,
improvements, those-
the question should be to Mario, how often do those pumps get on now? It's not much, right?
No.
Yeah, so it's like, I remember it was just minutes a day, when the wet well would fill up, it would just be a certain amount of minutes, but it's definitely oversized. So it'll be based on the size of the pumps,
But then you also figure out what you're gonna do with the pavilion.
yes.
The
And that,
pavilion
Even
factors are
that's
tied in,
seasonal.
and that's, 6
Yeah.
months,
Yeah,
which that has its own pump station too.
does it?
Really wanna go backwards in pump stations, but we're adding one. Then we go back. We need them.
Yeah, we need to be disconnected from this, it's gonna be a problem, so. We, Pete's been telling me. No. Let's just start, with no.
cheaper,
No,
put an aerator.
As a-
put it into the organic garden, it's fertilizer, right? No problem.
And put all those tomato.
Which, I don't know if there's still plans, there is an older pump station still there. So I don't know if that, at one point, did go out to the road or had its own
I
thing, 'cause
remember you showed me,
right down, maybe like 50 feet, there's another,
it was abandoned though, right?
yeah, there was an, I don't know where the outlet went.
So is it already piped and all that? I mean, it's already dug and piped and all
No,
this?
it's still there, it's just, we never.
It's abandoned infrastructure.
Is it useful abandoned infrastructure or just in the way abandoned infrastructure?
It's probably in the way. Because what you're gonna be required to do is you have to prove pump curves, everything that was already submitted by Dan to the health department.
Okay,
It's more of,
did he do all that?
Yeah.
Okay,
they go to Zoll.
If you think it went out to the road,
The old one? I don't know.
No, the main wasn't there. I don't think it.
Yeah, cause that, you're right, that main was added on to Goodman only.
Right, yeah.
All the way
down to White
2000s.
Birch, yeah.
Yeah, with the extra pump station, the annual line for to maintain the pump station, is that gonna change in 24? Or
Well, I don't know at what point it would go online.
Electricity and, we using the same pump.
I believe so.
So just electricity maybe would be a little more, I don't think give you that much.
Okay, and we're putting solar into that park to offset the electricity there, so yay.
We put all.
Ceiling or server. Why? It's getting a new roof.
What about the parking lot stuff?
That was what we preferred, but it didn't pan out.
Brookside zooming now.
Hmm?
Brookside is zooming in. It's pretty wild.
No, we were looking at an array for the parking lot over there.
Very know how.
That. The state has a grant funding opportunity for $100,000 worth of electrification. That wasn't able to be laid out, designed
Right.
and come in, that didn't come under that
Yeah,
number. We can look at it, we would love to look at it under another grant source. But for this grant source, we had to come up with something.
Right.
In that budget range, so we came up with the Cedar Lane Art Center roof and the dog park lights.
Yeah. No, I like that parking lot stuff, 'cause you're not clearing fields and stuff.
Oh, yeah, no,
Whoever
Remember
created
impervious
that-
surface.
whoever created that is.
So I remember a couple of years ago, we met with Dana and someone from the state, exactly what you're talking about, the parking. And the problem with Cedar Lane is the side of that hill with all the trees
Mhm.
was too shady. So that's why that didn't work out.
All right,
So could be enough for 2024.
Mhm.
Moving on to the Parks Department. So this is what was requested in regards to equipment. Bobcat skid steer with track at $84,912. Dump grinder attachment for skid steer at $9,500. Toolcat utility vehicle at $75,193.51. Walk behind mower electric for the parks at $70,000 and another one, but for the cemetery at also $70,000. A brush cut rotary cutler at $9,407.80. Pallet fork at $3,326.56. Gravel for excavator at $2,500. A jet board drill press at $1,800, and then a portable sawmill at $15,000. So that brings it to a grand total of $341,640.25.
all right, so
Look,
yes on the grapple, yes on the grapple for the excavator, yes on the jet floor. Drill press, those two, fine. Somebody's gonna have to explain to me why this Bobcat steer is almost, it's 84 and with its little pieces is, over 100,000.
No, well, the stump grinder I took out, because it doesn't make sense to own one. If we are, you're just better off, they don't rent those for that, but just go. It's smarter just to go rent a stump grinder from like Decker for the day or two.
And what does that cost?
To get rid of it.
Yeah, just.
What does it cost to rent it?
It was like a wish list.
Mhm. So,
Oh, the cost, it's, I don't know, I hate to give a number, $175, $200 for the day.
yeah, we're good.
So, and then the amount you really, there's a lot of stumps to do, but.
Alright.
It's just one of those things, go right.
Okay, I'm not feeling a Bobcat
So-
here, sell me on that.
Well, that's a trade-in. We would get 20,000 for ours.
That's not,
The problem for ours is. It's the work we do, we're always getting stuck with it. It's attracts, you're able to do more, better grading. You go into wet areas without getting stuck. You could probably bring it on the beach like we do with the excavator because they'll have tracks. The brush hog would be for that machine, which we don't, our brush hog now is for the tractor.
and the tractor is gone.
yeah.
The tractor needs to go.
It's gotta go up for auction. It's from 1960. We have a lot of attachments for the skid steer that we don't really use, because it's just with the tire, it's just the tires, I'm kicking myself. Am I, you know,
How old is
listening
the
to
one that we
vendor
have?
saying that, oh, you have fields, don't get the tracks. And I wish I got the tracks. It's
Do the tracks damage fields?
6, no. We do it with the excavator now.
So the one you have is
Tracks.
6 years old?
No, more than, I don't know,
2016.
7, 8 years. 2016, 7 years.
What's the expected life on these things?
As long as we take care of it, I mean, they just took our excavator that we had at the same time, and that thing was in excellent condition.
All right, you said that we could get the brush hog attachment rental from and put it on the old one,
The bush
conceivably if
cattle-
we wanted to use it.
Yes,
All right, so I think this one's gonna go out into Greenland.
Get rid of the Bobcat.
Bobcat's
Yeah.
another 25.
I mean, unless you could, give me a specific reason that, like, the one we have absolutely can't be made to work. I mean, can you put down plywood to get to where? I mean, is this absolutely what you need? Talk to
I
me.
mean, it's just,
This is something that would make your life easier.
yeah,
Okay,
and the work we do, it's just a better fit for what we do.
okay.
What are you doing with it? I guess is my question.
We're doing, we grade with it, we grade parking lots, we grade fields. We load trucks with it. We don't cut with it because we don't have the attachment for it. We use it as a forklift.
But you have 2 trucks with the big forklifts on it, right? Or you have 1 truck with the big forklifts on it?
No, our trucks don't have forklifts.
I thought
We have a hook lift
Hooklifts,
where you
sorry.
pick up containers. Truck containers.
They're very useful in the snow too, right, for anything with snow, and
Oh, we have snow blower
That's
for it,
the-
yeah, snow blower.
that's the biggest thing.
What do you use for the snow in the parks now?
Not supposed to be another one. Wow,
What do you,
What do you use for the snow in the parks now? And on the pathways that you can't drive a truck?
we, depends on how much snow. If it's not a lot, we'll use we have, walk behind snow blowers, otherwise we use the skid steer. With, either the broom attachment or the snow blower attachment. Depends if it's heavy slushy snow or light fluffy snow. We could either sweep it or snow blow it.
Okay, so pretending you had this, would the attachments that we have work on it?
Oh, yeah, we could do every attachment we have and probably use different ones. That we really can't use with the one we have now.
So we own attachments that
It's
aren't
more
really
for-
working with the machine we
The
have now?
grading stuff is hard, because when you're on tracks, your balance is different than when you're with tires on it, it takes, you're bouncing around. That's the difference between tracks and the tires and traction. But if we have to make do, we make do, it is what it is.
What's the difference between that then and the toolcat utility vehicle?
Well, the Toolcat utility vehicle is more of a utility vehicle, but they'll be able to run some of our smaller attachments that the skid steer has, like the bucket, snow blower, the sweeper, and I believe the forklift. And I don't know what else it does, and then it has a dump body on it as well. So it
To
kind of
help you get rid
replaces
of,
the Gator and the 1960 tractor.
all right, so if you had to pick between the 2 of them for the year, what would it be?
I was gonna ask the same question.
That's where I was going.
Everybody in the room said, "Yeah." I got you. Here, here's a quarter.
These are all state prices that you got?
I
You got
mean,
marketplace?
yeah,
These are all
Bobcat is, state contract pricing. I mean, I think we use the skid steer more. The two K utility vehicle, I mean, the only reason why I went that way is just it would be a lighter machine to use on fields
So it wouldn't crush our
Or-
drainage
or-
pipes or?
or for events, like this, the gator we have now is kind of embarrassing using it, but you could also get a regular utility vehicle that doesn't cost that much money. You get a utility vehicle, you just got one, was $20,000-$30,000.
Yeah, could you get them?
The purpose of this one was because you're enclosed one in the winter if you do use it. The purpose of it is so you can use, it's a multi-purpose machine. It's not just a regular like gator or utility vehicle that you have.
Yeah.
This one serves for many different purposes. It's, but if I were to pick, we'd use the skid steer a lot more. I would have to say the skid steer.
Can you guys use a mule too? Instead of-
Oh, it's like a mule, like, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's probably just better off getting one of those down the
Like
road.
20 grand.
Right. Well, like I said, the
I know what a
Cat-
mule is, except for it
It's
was
like
like that you paid.
Yeah, no, so it's like a 4x4 UTV.
Right, like, well,
And it has a dump bed. So it
Yeah.
kinda is an inexpensive gator.
well, that's what we, yeah, our gator now.
You know?
is- was, but
Well, what about the Bobcat utility vehicle you bought for the cemetery in 2022?
I don't know.
Hmm? Somebody bought it.
Anyway,
No, we have it, yeah.
Yeah.
No, we have. But with
That one-
that's what I'm saying, right.
That's,
That was 20,000 each 24.
right, that's right, that's a regular.
Oh.
Ours
that's-
is used every day. Every day.
And if you need a more everyday one, that's the route to go.
Right.
I just saw the thing in action and the way I was thinking was because you could use so many attachments on it. It's not just a regular utility vehicle just to ride around in. It actually will do work for you. So that was my thought. So,
All right, but if you had two skid steers that can also use the.
right now, I'd
attachments.
rather get the skid steer. And deal with the cushion we have now, because I mean, realistically, we use it for the ball fields when we have to do small amounts of clay, and then we do use it for events. That was it, but. We could also, when we have an event, just, I don't know if it's the Earth Day event or the fireworks, just use theirs for now, if ours does go.
We don't have a burial. I mean, ours are big for burials because we get between the rows of the stones and that dirt is on them and, you know, their tools, the lowering device and everything else. That's what they use. They're ideal for that.
And 4 or 5, if it helps anyway, it was for parks and cemetery, the $70,000, it wasn't $70,000 each, no.
Right.
Each machine, the stand-on ones are
As
like
I say, the
36.
bill, the one I have, it says 30.
Yeah, no, so that's for 2 electric machines. Or between the 2 departments, having 2 machines.
I think we'll try one machine in each department first and see how everybody likes it. I don't wanna,
Well, no, I'll find out from Vinny, if we could, from Osceola, just demo it for a day or 2, or even a week.
So
And
should,
see,
should that be 35,000?
one machine would be, I would say 40.
Yeah.
Cause they were unsure, the riding machine was like 38, 39.
Yeah.
The stand on walk behind was like 36.
And cemetery shouldn't be over here in parks.
Oh, there's the reason why we had put it there, because Mario had requested it, not Pete, that's why. We didn't put it there.
No, it's by department, so it shouldn't be over in.
Okay.
I mean, even if we have it, we're gonna bring it there when we go there. anyway.
Funding
So-
wise,
Funding wise,
it's not
okay.
the
Okay.
person requesting.
Go back.
Yeah,
So
I
we're
was gonna
keeping-
ask the same question that Bill.
So we're just getting one of them, one.
Because then you're really requesting 2 mowers in the
Yeah.
cemetery,
Yeah, one
Yeah.
riding and one walk behind.
one electric and one.
The first one I wanna try is the walk behind. Cause even for Park Hills, like we have Tigers only because they're more powerful and faster. But when we go to the cemetery, our machines, our guys, the parks guys usually cut more of the flat areas because they do slide. I mean, if it's dry, it's different, but I'd like to try to stand on one just for areas you really can't.
And that's 60 and 52 inch too, the same
52.
52.
Stand. And I
Okay,
believe it was like
so
36,
So basically,
37,000.
you should leave number 4, change it to 40,000, take out number 5, and you already have one of the ridings over in cemetery, right?
Yes, we have a
And
right
then
across from
You can always revisit next year.
But just so I understand, the riding and the walking have two different purposes, right, Mary?
We took out 4,
But the
over 4.
No, 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 no.
Oh, 5, because we had it, okay,
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
Yeah.
it being changed to 40,000,
okay,
and
got it.
did we decide we're doing
And
number one?
Can we charge both of them at the same time? too?
Keeping number 1.
What are we doing with
Or
number
at the
one?
parks?
The skid
All right.
steer.
Are we keeping number one?
I would let them pick one, two, yeah.
Okay.
No, 2 is out, we were dividing between 1 and 3.
Yeah,
And I think you picked one, right?
Yeah.
You picked
I
one,
would-
okay, so get rid of 3.
You wanna move,
Why don't you
Three,
go 3 to
yeah.
25, just for now, and then we'll discuss it next year.
But like I said, if you're getting
well,
that,
no, if
you're
we're
better
doing
off.
that, then we can get that $20,000.
You just need a regular, down the road, you'll need, we need a gator, but not to
So
that
switch
extent.
it, put 20,000 in 2025 for that. For the
utility.
utility vehicle.
So take out toolcat and utility vehicle.
Utility vehicle, 20
20.
grand in 2025, so it's there. Discuss
Yeah,
next
just
year.
as a placeholder, okay. All right,
So utility
The-
vehicle is gonna be 20,000 for 2025,
Yeah.
right,
okay.
Just for utility vehicle, take the tool cat, tool car.
Okay, I'm gonna take it, okay, got it.
all right, the rotary, the brush cat rotary,
6, so we have to.
do we decide we could rent that for now?
That's all. But the grinder.
That you can't, right?
The
The
road,
bo-
the
the
brush
one
cat?
for the excavator you can.
The grinders.
No, not the grinder.
Not the.
Oh, the grinder he can rent, yeah,
Some
but
grinder
the,
You can rent, yeah.
but the brush cat you can't rent?
The brush cat, they rent the flail mower, that was for
The
this.
flail
The
mower.
difference is the flail mower is more like St. Augustine's or Rider Trails if you wanna reach out. Like you ever see the state
Yeah,
equipment, so you do that with the excavator. The brush hog, the one we have now, which is broken for the tractor, that more goes in front of the machine, so it's forward and backward operation, not, you can't really reach out with that.
all right, with the new skid steer, can you use the flail mower, rent a flail mower?
No, it's only for the excavator. You
But
can't-
we have an
it goes on and
excavator
on. Yeah, this,
that you can,
yes,
so we could go get it and we're set in that department for now,
for the flail mower,
right?
or the brush hog.
So where do you need a brush hog?
Brush hog would be Rider Trails. Cedar Lane. And we used to cut it for the hill that's behind Rider Park,
Mhm.
that's wet area, but obviously once. That gets done, you probably won't need it there, it's mostly for the trail at Rider Park.
All
But
right, and we can't just
also,
run
if
over
you-
that with a regular mower,
thing is,
mostly,
every time you go there, you got a rock and. You cause some damage with the mowers, cause that's just a deck and when the grass is really high,
you can't see the rock.
I mean, we could push that. And if
Yeah,
we're
let's
renting
push that,
The flail mower, we just do everything, it'll take a lot longer, cause you're talking. 5 to 6 feet was the brush hog versus the flail mower is only like 3 feet. But.
all right,
still
first,
same purpose, just different for different machines, that's fine.
all right, let's push that one in.
How long does it take to get the Bobcat? Have you checked the availability, like?
They have,
They have them, they're readily available, so they're good to use right away.
All right, pallet forks. Those you need,
yes, we do a lot of deliveries. The problem we're having with the ones we have is they've been repaired so many times over the years. Using forks for not their main purpose. They're warped and they fall off. So when we've been taking unloading trucks from our deliveries, we've actually had pallets fall because the forks give way. So,
This is an attachment of a
It's an
forklift,
attachment
like
of
a
a skid
forklift
steer.
attachment to
so skid steer,
a skid.
the skid steer could do, it's amazing, the Bobcat, what they have and what. And for having a department small to have the right attachments and it serves a purpose and it. We get a lot done with those machines. And in our busy time, both those machines are used pretty much all year long.
You say gas or diesel, what was it?
Diesel, pretty diesel. The sawmill, that was like a wish list item.
I are gonna push that one out.
Yeah.
Is that the one you make the borders and everything on
Well,
the
we,
fencing
the
and all
stuff
They
that?
we do
take
now,
that's the one where you take the wood.
Yes, and that's.
we have the chainsaws. I mean, if you're gonna get into, I mean, you could actually make, well, we've done even 4x4 posts, which we've used.
Mhm.
But we do everything with a chainsaw. It's just, it takes longer.
I think you wanted it last year too.
Yeah, but we have it down to a science now, but the boards we're making really right now, I mean, we do make 4x4 boards, but mostly it's for the garden,
Mhm.
which you can't buy really 16-foot pieces of wood, 12 inches wide, like a true 3 inches. And we still have, I don't know, like 20 beds to do, but each winter we do 8, 9 beds, so. It is what it is. We're repurposing the wood.
Where you
instead
guys
of
get
laying it
cold to?
waste.
It's noontime, that's lunchtime.
So,
Take it to popcorn.
Yeah.
So you wanna push,
Where'd the engineers go?
you push that to 25 then, that's what it was, those following now?
If that. but
We'll
yeah.
revisit it next year. see what
Revisit it
options
next
out there.
year. If we can find somebody who wants to buy us one.
that'd be great. Well, it's nice to not have, you have so much wood over the years.
Okay, but my other question is, where are you storing this? At?
Well, that's it. Yeah,
You got nowhere to
you
store
got
it.
nowhere to store it. That's the problem we run into.
You want toys, you got nowhere to
Well,
put.
that's, I've said it, I said it in our first meeting. It's like, you're almost at the point where you can't really get other stuff, because it's, I mean, now we clean up the parking lot, because we just had the event spectacular, so we crammed everything in the corner. But now pretty soon, we park all our stuff on the Ryder Pavilion for the winter, just to protect it.
Mhm.
So we may do what we have. We've been doing it for years.
Mhm. I know, we understand,
Well, it's not the same.
but you know, if we cannot spend too much money, then we'll have more money to put toward, new facilities for you guys, so we have to. be
And the thing
frugal.
is, right now, we're only billing in the winter when it's our downtime anyway, so it's,
But there's only so much time in the day and.
right, it's only so much you could do, so we have the chainsaw mills for now, and they work, it's just.
Okay, so that's good.
What's the new
Moving
total,
on.
what's the new total for parks equipment total, do you have that? Yeah,
Yeah,
And
it's
it-
just equipment.
If it is for the skid
Yeah.
steer too, they gave so rough.
So it's number one,
20,000.
So
Number
number one is
four
okay, number four
at
is okay.
40,000.
40.
Number 7, which is 33. Number 8, which is 25. Number 9, which is 18.
2, 3,
And that's
4,
it.
5, okay,
And number 10 is being pushed to 2025,
Yep,
along with number 3,
along with number
20,000.
3.
25.
20 or 20?
20,000. I'll summarize this whole thing.
we'll have a new.
Yeah, we'll have a
Yeah,
new one
okay.
updated, yeah.
Beautiful.
So just so everybody's on the same page, number 1, we're keeping for 2024.
Mhm.
Number 2 is gone.
Mhm.
Number 3 is gonna be renamed utility vehicle and it's gonna be moved over to 2025.
Yep.
Number 4 is being kept, but we're moving. we're
But it's
decreasing it to
costing 40,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Number 5, we're getting rid of.
Mhm.
What about number 6? The brush cover.
Oh, we got rid of that.
Got rid of that? Okay, thank you. Number 6 is being getting rid of. Number 7, pallet
We're
pork,
pushing it out.
we're pushing it out or keeping?
We're pushing out the Brush Cat Rotary.
I thought we said we were getting rid of it.
All right, we can get rid of it. He'll ask for it again
Well, we're
anyway.
gonna, right, for now, we said we're
We
using
should-
the flail mower.
Yeah,
We'll see how the
that's
flail
I'm gonna go
mower.
rent it with
Okay.
excavator.
We'll get rid of it for now.
We'll get rid of it for now.
The other ones are, well,
Met Mario, he'll ask
The
me.
flail mower is also, it's also cheaper if we do decide, because you said rent it for now.
Right,
Was
so let's try
last
it,
year,
yeah.
Rent it, try it, see how it works. Because at the end of the day, if you rent that thing 6 or 7 times, you might as well just own one.
Okay,
Cost
Makes
less,
sense,
so
yeah.
that's something we'll use, but once again, to have two is kind of like.
Rent one, try it, we'll make that decision.
number 7, keeping, 8, keeping, 9, keeping, and 10 is being moved to 2025.
mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, so I will update this new sheet of paper. And send it all to you guys. Okay, moving on.
It should be 130,000 for the jobs and 90%.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Cedar Lane Park. So these are for projects that were requested. We have the soccer field creation, which includes a sprinkler system, regrading, drainage, irrigation, and sod. $350,000. A staircase at $20,000. LED lights for the dog park, $20,000, but we were looking at grant funding for that.
Mhm.
Then removing existing blacktop adjacent to the garden, install asphalt pad, install Musco double fish system with LED lighting, which is part of the soccer volleyball complex. at $210,000. And then pavilion bathrooms at $80,000 for 2024.
Where did Pauline Andy go? We know?
I think that's somewhere else. to do.
Okay. All right, so, Bill, we have a lot of drainage to do in that area. We have to add a sewer lift station to that area. And get an easement going with the existing sewer lift station and a lot of work to do there
You're talking about
for the,
number 4.
number 4.
Yeah, that's why we put it in 25.
Right, that's why I moved it out to 25. So I just wanted to.
Yep, no, we talked.
I didn't know if you, okay. Cause realistically, there's no way we can complete all that and get that in this year. The soccer field creation,
So that's,
I think we have so much to do in this park already. I don't know that that's a this year project. What's your thought?
it is a recommendation from the Recreation Advisory Board.
Mhm.
That was like one of their top recommendations. The problem is you have that field, that space, and it's a good space. It's a large field. There is not one large soccer field that's in town or village property that can be a full-size soccer field. So soccer then gets put onto Gerlach and, you know, Nelson and other areas on ball fields, which takes away from baseball. Soccer, the Recreation Advisory Board understands that, you know, soccer is huge in this community. And just by the fact that people are playing in parking lots and there's just not enough space. So having a field there that could also be used for lacrosse and for football would just makes sense. So that's what they're coming from on that.
All right, I mean, so learning from the one baseball field, this is not what that costs. Like 350,000 doesn't say, I think it,
This was a ballpark estimate from DeRosa, which does sport fields.
so from them doing it,
Well, you need no fencing. That's.
No, you don't need
No
fencing. This is just grading, putting in the irrigation, and drainage, and then resodding, so just leveling out the field.
okay,
Which
so,
I also spoke to the sprinkler guy we use, Marco from Pinco. Because the way they left it, when they ran the water, they left our old well attached. He said the only thing we'd have to do is pressure test it and see if it's enough. The thing's always filled.
Yep.
So before you do that, then basically you just pay for electricity, you wouldn't be paying for water.
okay, that was my next item, because it's all well and good to create a soccer field, but with, you know, water rates what they are. You know, you know, having a soccer field, but that means that Mario's crew has to maintain that soccer field. That means that there's sprinkler systems.
Well, we
And
do it now.
people keep driving across things that I have sprinkler systems and then breaking it, and I end up paying crazy amounts of money in water fees before anybody identifies that it's broken. So, you know, I have issues with, you know, leaving, you know, new sprinkler systems in big open places where people can drive through.
Well, we blocked it now. We are driving on that. We were driving on that field when we had events,
Mhm.
but the field is. It's not a regular, it's
Not
not
very-
manicured, it's settled, it's
not playable.
there's no sprinklers now, obviously, we put rocks there, nobody drives on it. But if you're gonna do all that, you definitely, I wouldn't build a field without sprinklers,
No, that's what
because it's a lot of wear and tear, and unless you're not doing turf, it's
it's not worth it.
it's not worth it.
Wasn't lights included in there? No? Was there lights supposed to be?
That would, they do want lights, but
I remember, I mean,
Yeah.
we went the whole 9, but
yeah,
you know, lights probably would be.
Yeah.
with this type of project.
And if, I mean, too, if you were doing turf. Would be, but
But the turf nowadays, learning from the high school and all that, they don't,
They
the
don't
light
want
doesn't
it,
go
right.
good and the maintenance
Right.
not there to hold equipment to maintain turf is
Absolutely.
a whole different, you have to add in a whole nother equipment.
yeah.
So,
well, that's something too to figure out, because you don't wanna redo a whole field and then, oh, we're gonna go put lights, now we gotta go dig it up again.
Well, okay, I don't think you
I
have.
mean, you go around it.
Yeah, you go
but-
around it, but so it'd be something.
I mean, that's
you could-
nothing down
you
the
could do
road.
Down the road, yeah.
But that field, it's a shame, because I remember playing there when I was younger.
Yeah.
And it's just that it's settled, and to my knowledge, it was filled. There is a cover on it. So, I mean, I don't know if we have to. what's
So is
cost?
the contractor aware that there's a cover underneath, that it was capped and covered?
No, was not aware of that either.
That's what I was told. That park was built when the town already had it.
So
It
back
was already
about
done. It was like
25 years ago,
90 It was like
Yeah.
99, 98.
my kids
99.
were they were tiny, so yeah, I'm gonna say, late nineties, mid to late nineties.
Because I played in it when I started working there immensely, we were using that field. It was a nice field, it's just over the years settled.
All right, so I think we need to understand what's under there and, and have a contractor understand what's under there.
Your sprinkler thing, your sprinkler
Is
comment.
there
now-
money?
Your sprinkler comment, now these new water meters, they can track it daily, so if there is a leak, you'll be able to know right away.
But if we could use our own well,
Oh,
the
that'd be
old
great.
well, everything.
No, that area is wet, and that'd help with drainage, right?
If there were
Let's
ever
just get all the
shot, you
water
need to
going
have
into
water
that well.
like that, though.
And use it.
Right.
All
Good purpose.
right, is there money available from grant funding for this project? From FIFA or anything like that? They're always looking for more soccer places,
Yeah, I mean, there could be, it's not gonna be a lot.
but I knew.
But we can look into it.
The vision
Okay.
for that field, the vision for that field is for our community, or is it mostly, how would it work, the field there? Would it be open to renters, to organizations, youth organizations and all that to use?
Yeah, so the first priority would be ASO, because they're a recognized youth sports organization. And then it would be open for rentals after that. So there is a good deal of potential for revenue coming in back on that over the years as well.
There are not enough fields. We do understand there's not enough field space in this
Dedicated field.
area of Westchester County. So that's fair.
Then also tied into that is straightening up that parking lot. too.
Meaning getting your stuff out of there.
Highway stuff.
Everywhere.
No, but like the boats,
Town stuff.
it's because it's all our park, it's every park, our parks, like Ryder, and our parks are, our parking lots are yards, they should be, if you're doing a nice field like that, you can't have people, their stuff, they're on the boats, they're messing with the boats, they're messing with the highway stuff, you always find like,
Buckets of salt going down.
yeah, I mean, it's,
That's the way it is,
Mhm.
the way it
So, I mean,
is, that's true.
yeah, fix the field, but then also know that other stuff is gonna come with that.
So do you have visions for how to solve the other issue?
If you get a new space, the highway department.
So we're back
Because
to, we're looking for a
We both
space.
need space, I mean, everything's in a parking lot. It's,
And we know
yeah,
that.
Ryder Park for you, people say, we come here, we pay, and we gotta look at all your guys' stuff, it's like, well, where are we supposed to put it? I mean, on us for keeping it a mess, it was due, we did a good cleaning, I mean, but now we crammed everything in one corner. But still, at the end of the day, you're still in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Which we're aware of, which is why we're trying to be frugal so that we can have enough money to build facilities.
And Dale, do you foresee, is it better to go as a whole project at once, or do you think it could be done in stages, maybe? For money purposes?
Well, your main is the soccer at the field, right?
Well, I guess it has a lot of moving parts to it, right? It's different stages of work to be done on it.
Well, definitely is drainage. Irrigation, depending if you use the well, I mean, I don't know,
But you said this was a rough estimate, right?
I mean, it's obviously.
Compared to what they've done before with
Yeah.
other projects.
And that's a priority out of everything, that's the priority for
For the town parks.
the rec advisory board.
Well, it's been on there.
For that field,
for a
yeah,
while.
it's been for a while,
Yeah.
because it's. that
Yeah,
part
and that,
is-
was originally when they first did the first go around 5 years ago.
Yes.
And you can tell they never finished whoever built it, because there's a backstop there for baseball, and
Yeah.
they're supposed to put a baseball field and never went through.
Is there any concern, or is it a separate issue? That another town, like a Briarcliff, can come in and say, we want to use this field and they should have access to it, or?
We would let Briarcliff have access to it because it's one of the villages within our town.
Okay,
As long as they meet the criteria.
is there any potential for an ongoing lack of cooperation, the way it's working with the baseball, and they're claiming that they have access to the
They're over
record?
right now. They've decided to be a youth organization in line with the way that all of our other youth organizations are. And that would be the expectation for anybody who wants to use our fields, that they would be a recognized youth organization, or they would be a customer. A recognized youth organization within our town of Austin borders.
Right.
Because there are plenty of recognized youth organizations. I was listening to the Pleasantville meeting the other day that they don't have fields and they're very upset and they have no space, so. You know, potentially, if they could be scheduled where they helped us pay for the field. You know, and we could, you know, let them use their space also. My understanding is there really aren't enough fields. Alternately. That one also needs drainage. Right?
Well, you want to put drainage in any field.
Right, exactly, so, we have a lot, you know, when the field's not in use for recognized sports. Would it be available to the community to use, just available?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, if.
and that's not damaging to a field,
Yeah, like kids wanna go up there, run around, play
Like any
soccer,
field,
like any
right.
field, but if it's gonna
Okay.
be an organized with more than 20 people, which is the current standard, then they need a permit and have to be charged.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that's fair. All right, so we wanna try for that?
Yes. Yeah, I just,
mean-
what would be the time for this project, start to finish? Is it a year or more than a year, you would think, probably?
No, I don't think it's a long
No,
process.
right in and-
Yeah, they come right in and it's not. Right, I mean, it's,
I mean, if we were doing it, probably like a year.
yeah.
Two.
As these.
It almost seems like the approval process is the longest part of it.
Yeah, we're talking
Yeah.
a good month, someone, a contractor with
Right.
approval. knock
Cause they're
that
just
out.
gonna, it's not like. They don't have to clear the, you know, it's not like they have to go in and clear and move
Mhm.
stumps and a lot of rocks or anything, it's.
Right.
It's mainly just taking the layer off, bringing in some fill,
It's shovel ready.
bringing in some stone and then putting in your irrigation lines and your drainage lines. And then resod it.
Is this something that we could ask grant wise, maybe from Dana's office as well? Cause you may remember during the summer, they had like that one-off. For any projects we may have,
Right,
was that more?
I
infrastructure?
think that's not this season, but we can ask for it, but I don't know that we can try.
My thoughts would like to give
He's
some
working
money,
with the drainage for
Yeah,
us,
the
so.
drainage, yeah. Cause I mean, I know they give us, the playground as well, so I was thinking maybe
That
something
was
along
again
with
from
those.
Senator, not.
Something that's not
Assembly.
something, assembly.
What about our project?
Yes. But we were gonna use some of that for the drainage.
Yep.
For our portion of the drainage,
Which,
the first portion of the drainage.
for which park, or which?
Right.
Yeah, that's
We can-
next.
yes, it's coming.
Okay, you have 500, over 500,000
Yes.
for our,
That,
so.
can that be used to cover some of the equipment also, but I guess I could do
my thoughts along the line were more like, I would say 100,000 or whatever, just to go give some money to go get the right estimates and the right costs. And maybe do some drainage and some of the other stuff, and then see what the hard costs are, and then. But I don't know how that would work in budget wise.
Well, this is something that has to go out to bid, right?
Yeah.
Well, I could get,
A bid spec has to be made, right? All that stuff, that's costly, that costs money.
Mhm.
I'm okay with going for all those right now, just check that all out to get the real.
but who would do the bid? Or do I just call somebody and be like, this is what we want, and then you base it off that?
No, we go into
Yeah,
BidNet, we're using BidNet now.
yeah.
Yeah, so.
So you could alert all of the people that you normally work with that the bid is going out and then they can go onto BidNet and. And, you know, see the specs of everything that we need and. They
Well, the
can,
only one I would know is Marco from Clean Cut, because he does the sprinklers, but he does everything else too.
okay, so you would let him, alert him to the opportunity to bid.
But who would do the bid? Spec?
The
town
town
does the
create the bid specs, but
Yeah.
we need to hire an outside firm to do the bid specs.
Yeah.
We don't write the
Right.
bid spec.
Right.
Right,
I'm okay with going with that forward, get the bid specs, whatever money it takes to get that done. To get a real good number, a close number, no.
all right, and then if we have the bid specs, then we could also go begging. To
Yeah.
all the assorted people.
So,
then.
so why don't we do planning of this in 2024 and then in 2025 do the creation of it? I think that's what Angela's trying to.
I would put
See if
$100
it's
grand now, or
possible.
say $100 grand now for debt financing to do the investigation and all that, and then put 250 in for 2025.
Will it
To
take
get that sorted out.
100,000 to do the investigation?
I don't think so.
Not that much.
No.
but It's good slush just to give
It's
it.
good solution, and then if anything's left over there, could we push it off to the middle?
Well, you can't, if you're borrowing 100,000, you can't, it's only a 5-year borrow.
Yes, so.
We
Once you
refinance after
separate
one.
it
So
out,
can we,
because you're separating it out, so design and engineering is a 5-year useful life.
You can't redo that. You can't.
You
renew it.
can't.
so
but
can we do
unless it's
general?
connected, with the project, itself. But then you have to include it in the bond resolution.
And you're bound to it. You're tied into it, right?
Right, but my theory is if you want to use your ARPA funds, it has to be obligated by 2024, spent by 2026.
All right. So if we want to use ARPA funds for this, then. Isn't necessarily what I had in mind for that, but maybe.
I'm just throwing out your options.
No, I get it.
You know the options.
So you're talking about $100,000 on top of the $350,000,
I don't know where that
projection.
100,000.
No, I was just,
You could pick it
I
up.
threw out 100 is just start off, go get your estimates, get all the bids done and your investigations. Right, because this is a hard estimate. This was.
Yeah.
That's
All right, let's put this one on as want to do it for now. Or,
Let me know.
because, well, I want to go through, we have a whole bunch of more parks to go through. Here, and I think we should talk about each of the projects and then prioritize which ones we want to do. Because, we could say we want to definitely do this, and then you get to the next park, oh yeah, we want to do this. We get to the next park, yeah, we want to do this, and then we have the stage.
Right.
That we're, they want us to have $500,000.
It could also bring in revenue too.
Not all the parks are getting money.
If one way to look at
Not
it.
that much.
Mhm.
And some
Well,
come from
Do
different
you
areas.
just want me to go through all the parts right now?
Let's just read through,
Okay, let me.
all right, let's just read through all of them and then go back and go through them.
Okay, so next up we have Ryder Park, we requested the demolition of the basketball court. Fix the retaining wall and install proper drainage to the area at 25 grand. Then we were asked for a storage shed for the parks equipment. So right now they're being stored in a lot of Crescent Pavilion by 25,000. A sprinkler system for Finch Field at $7,000. And the fence at Collier Field, I never got that amount.
Yeah, he's, ballpark right now is 170 to 200. That'll be the last field at Ryder to get done. First field,
120K?
the 170 to
170.
200, 170,000 to 200,000.
That's for perimeter fencing, right? Dugouts.
It'll be 20-foot net combo, then meeting fence, and then 6-foot fence all the way around, because that's a 50-70 field as well. So, because they couldn't go out further, they have the 6-foot fence.
I think if we replace the basketball court or just.
We're getting rid of it.
For right now, we were gonna do just taking down the fence this winter, when we slow down and rip up the blacktop and just see what lies underneath, because there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Right, so now we're back to drainage, because that area is wet, and the reason we lost the court is because it's sinking. So that's why, in my mind, the drainage comes first, because building on slush, whatever you build goes away, and everything we build is stupidly expensive, so.
I also have a random question. Do you get requests for pickleball courts? That seems to be
Yes.
popular.
Oh, yeah.
We have,
Constantly.
no, we have 4,
In the town?
3 at Ryder.
Oh,
When we redid the courts, we put them in.
What size storage shed you looking for? The equipment you have, how much?
We were thinking like one of those,
That came from,
yeah, one of like with the mafia blocks.
we had one in store in Cedar Lane Park, we actually put up a couple years ago, if anybody's been to Ryder Park, we usually park our skid steer and excavator under there. But now it's housing playground equipment, I guess you're some one of those. But once again, if we're looking for a place, I would hold off on that, because
Well,
Right,
either way, it's still a couple years out, whatever it is. They just have, where's this equipment being stored now that you want to get this shed and put the equipment in?
What it was from the Recreation Advisory Board, and the issue was being at the pavilion and seeing the equipment there, that if it was put into something that was kind of not all over the parking lot, but contained in one area. That was really what it was about.
All right,
It still
so,
house all our trucks.
No.
and Stuff like that, but now what we'll do is now the season's over, next year we cleared, so we won't be in the parking lot anymore. Above where all our sand and gravel is, we clear that area, and that's where we're parking everything now. So for the weekends then for next year, we'll just leave the parking lot empty and.
Mhm.
And we won't treat it as a yard, basically. Anyway,
thank you.
we'll still have our stuff there, but.
No, I think it looks much neater
It
where
took
you
3
put it.
days to clean that parking lot.
Okay, but look how nice it looks.
Yeah,
Needed to
maybe,
be done.
maybe you can take that off then, the storage shed for now.
Or move to 25.
Yeah.
And see,
Yeah.
see any plans coming up.
Again, waiting for.
I mean, that's probably something too, even if you did, like the one we did, you could still take it apart and reuse it somewhere else. It's not like it's a permanent structure.
And I like the demolition
Oh.
of the basketball court is good to get that eyesore and get that safe area.
Right now,
As far as fixing everything along and all that, I would wait for drainage.
Like
and
you were-
that goes on. So that could be separated. I think maybe in operations, you might be able to get someone to do.
So in, in Pete's, which will actually go over into yours, that whole drainage study is, gonna be in part funded by the, by the senator, hopefully. We're having that meeting in a couple of days, and he's offered to help us with some of the drainage studies for 133 Maple and possibly for the North State Road area. And then we would kind of match that with and I was hoping to use some of the ARPA funds for that to match the drainage study in the Ryder Park Basin coming down, and that would kind of drain it, the part that drains into Morningside, so that we could have the drainage study for that part and, understand what's going on in the, the wet area in the field and the wet area by the
No, this year is.
tennis courts, and also opening up the drainage, and I think you said there's a collapsed pipe over between the fields, and a whole study and looking at that, and getting the foundation not wet and ready to do some of these improvements. And then, I mean, I think you were saying how important it was to then wet the field on the other side at the new Finch
Well,
field.
that's,
Like everything's
You're not-
drowning and now you wanna,
well, it's
I
more
get it.
July, August when everything's dry, but the water does need clay. That water needs clay on a regular basis.
Cleaning
I mean,
water.
clay needs water, not water needs clay.
Okay,
But
Um,
the study would be good too, because a year like this year, right apart.
Got washed out,
It's bad, not that it's so much, everything's wet, like even now, you're cutting grass
We're
and it's
getting
like.
storms more often, a lot more about more.
right, so what I'm saying is I think the drainage is the most important
It
thing
is.
we
That
can
would
do.
dictate the
And
future
that's
road.
the first step
Yes.
of everything that we wanna do. So,
But in the meantime, they can make it safe, whatever's falling apart. whatever's
well,
coming
no, we're gonna take that down, it's not
That's gotta
safe
get
yet.
taken, let's take that stuff that's not safe down.
Alright, so definitely demolish, yes.
Mhm. And that does-
George said no, sprinkler system, Finch Field, we have to do, like
That's
you're
the
telling me
finish.
that's
We didn't, when we did it, we left everything, because the lines got upgraded. So we left everything there to further do the rest of the field, because the outfield doesn't have any.
Alright, and I think the fence at Collier Field gets pushed out, that's me, what do you, or does it,
What's the condition?
What's
That's
the
right, is that
condition?
the first
Safe?
field on the left? when it comes to
No.
Harvard?
Yeah,
Is
the
it-
first,
what's
it's,
the
Collier
condition?
Field is a vertical field.
the backstop's about the, well, I got, when we were doing the fencing, we did get prices for it, but I guess there wasn't enough. Or it's been, at the time, it was like $30,000 in repairs, the backstop's starting to fall down. All the fence and the dugouts by the sides, it's all ripped and coming up, it's in bad shape.
Didn't we get a price for a backstop that was just a net, like made out of the net instead of fencing?
Well, that's the proposal,
that's the
it's
one.
it's a combo like we did on the two
Oh,
fields
okay, yeah, I
already,
just saw fence, I figured it was all fence, but that's.
and that's 20 feet high now, so it'll be 20 feet high netting to a certain point, meeting 6-foot fence. And then where the netting stops, it's 6-foot fence all the way around the field.
And doing that concrete border. too on it.
The concrete border will only be like we did the other fields, like just that would be like the Finch field then, because they're similar fields. So the concrete would be only to the big poles, and then there'll be a fence guard for the rest of the fence to protect it, which now there shouldn't be any damage from my guys and cutting and stuff like that, because now it's protected. So we're not riding the mowers up against the fence because nobody likes weed whack. So,
So you guys are trashing $100,000 fences, because you don't like to, okay. Just saying.
It happens,
Anyway.
it's not,
I get it, I get it, I do.
and the thing is, I go to a lot of parks now and.
But I mean, can it be put off a year? Because really seriously,
I mean,
I'm not, I don't wanna watch
I
you
mean,
guys
the-
do it and
if-
a whole nother summer doing one. field again.
I was
can't.
gonna take down the, if we're gonna get new fencing, I was gonna actually take the overhanging part, because if it does snow a lot this winter, that thing is coming down. One side is actually starting to fall. It's, the
And
pipes
you
are
got the creek,
rotted out.
right? You got that ravine name? Is that washing out? Is that,
Well, that brook is always,
that broke?
it's not touching the field,
So
but,
this goes back to the drainage thing again. The drainage that we might.
but that
defer the
field,
Fence work and whatever.
that field this year has flooded.
Right, I mean, it was underwater.
So
this-
for that
this
reason, I
year.
would push it back just until the drainage gets done.
We need to get the drainage done in that whole park, because I don't wanna put up a fence and a nice
Well, that's
concrete
near
border
fire
and then have to dig through it.
Well, that's right there too. That gets the blunt of it. The
That's
the other two fields
So-
are protected. Finch Field is high, it's away from it. But that field is the first and it's, I've never seen it flooded.
You know, if there's something that's gonna fall on a kid, obviously you need to,
Yes.
take it down,
emergency
put it
repair,
up,
let's say if
whatever.
We need to repair it, man, where it is right now, but
but.
The only thing right now is then just to repair
172, you said that?
170 to
170 to
200,000.
200.
Do I hear 200?
Oh, by the time you get to
That's
next year.
nice.
Going once.
Oh, that hopefully.
Oh,
it'll
Alright,
pass.
so on that,
But Ryder was
you have
so
to
much
get rid of the
better
No,
basketball
thank you.
court that's
It makes a difference.
falling,
It
the
does.
tennis court is
Really
falling
much
into.
better. And safer.
What would be the
And-
approximate cost of demolition of the,
Yes, to do the
basketball
sprinkler
court.
system for
That's,
7,000.
we'll probably make money on that.
yeah?
From
Pushing out the fence.
Cashing the mill, you probably make a couple $100.
So why don't we leave that out?
Actually, no.
Can we
Pushing
put
out
that
the
up?
fence to 2025
You're
Yeah, the
gonna have
only
to
thing
pay to dump the blacktop, so, I mean, you're gonna pay, it's our.
and
daily
pushing
work,
out the
but
storage
We'll
shed.
probably get it done in 3-4 days. You'll make money on the fence, cashing the fence at, Brookfield, but then you gotta pay to dump all the blacktop.
You don't have the room in your repairs and maintenance of the fields?
Yeah,
for
the
that?
first one, yes.
It's more than 25,000.
I don't know how much
Yes.
dumping, how much blacktop's gonna come out of it.
They're probably thinking like repairs and maintenance of the fields.
I don't think it's gonna
Demolition of
be,
basketball court.
I don't think
Doesn't
it's
have
gonna
to
be,
be on this.
I don't think it's gonna be $25,000. Out of the dumping fees.
Yeah, no, we can
It's
try.
gonna be the
That's what I'm
whole
saying. I think that goes into repairs and,
Well, that says general fund, it's not pocket.
$6,000-7,000 in dumping.
So where it says general fund, that means it's on us.
That much?
And it's debt financing where you
That's
wanna
about-
really think about it.
right.
Right, so general fund means we're
Or we just
we're
dump it
willing to
right
pay
apart,
for it.
Sure.
Mill it.
Yeah, the most out of that is, and it's hard to tell, is just the dumping of blacktop,
And then the repair to the wall.
but I don't think, well, the wall I would wait.
can you just level it off? Is it holding any, a lot of earth? I mean, nothing's
That won't
cracked.
stay, it's cracked, but it'll stay up.
Okay, so you don't want to do.
We
that.
just gotta make sure we disconnect the fence from that and you're good.
We don't want to collapse and fall down.
No, I would wait, there's no point in the wall until you do the drain.
Yeah,
So
so
you'll
yeah,
check it after you take the
I
fence.
think you
It'll
do
probably
it.
come apart any.
The fence is holding up.
put
Alright,
put 6,000 then into operating and take that off,
which one?
the demolish of the basketball court. You're not gonna need 25,000
No.
to do that, because if we're gonna do the work. Like you said, it's just.
Alright, so take number one off,
Take it
okay.
all off.
Yeah,
Alright, number one's out of there, number one's out of there then.
Number 2 is moved to 2025.
Correct. Number
Mhm.
3, we're
Number
keeping the
3
2024.
year sprinkling's okay.
And number 4, we're pushing to 2025.
And there's two things,
200,000.
two things that I wanna mention that aren't on there.
What?
Mhm.
The Ryder Park Pavilion roof, which we had a study 2-3 years ago when he gave prices, it's in bad shape and we're losing more and more shingles. Each,
Russell Welsky went to look at that one?
yeah, he looked at all of
He
roofs.
did, he gave you.
Oh, actually, that and Gerlach needs to be done. And what the story with the caretaker's house is, if that's gonna keep moving forward, or that just comes to a standstill.
I mean, I'm guessing that this winter you'll be working there somewhat, because
Well, I don't know,
like you do in the
there's-
winter.
We've been doing it piece by, yeah, the last time we did the hallway and the bedroom, there's still the bathroom, there's 3 rooms that need to be still updated with insulation and new floors.
You did windows last year, right? You did-
We did only the window we did in the bedroom, but the house also, I mean, none of the house was insulated, so each room, when we did the kitchen, when we did the bedroom, we're insulating all the outside walls.
Is there water going into that thing?
Not really,
That's higher up, that's higher
He's good.
point in the
When
park. really.
when the basin overflows, he does get water towards his house. Eventually, we will put a drain. I actually have a drain in our garage. We just haven't had time to put in. But the other thing too with that is windows, I gave you the estimates, windows and siding.
All right, you didn't put it into your capital plan though.
I know it was one that. It was last.
This is your
we
priorities,
forgot,
remember?
But that's,
Um,
we ran out of time the last week.
all right, I need the
Yeah,
numbers
forgot
in
about
front of me to put it before
I
the
think
board to
the
talk about
siding
it.
and the windows, it was between $30,000 to $40,000. So is it,
You think as you find time to work on it? In the winter, you find time?
Right, so
No.
$30,000 to $40,000
that's
is
for the outside.
having somebody else do it,
Yeah,
or $30,000
no,
to
no.
$40,000 is having you guys.
Contracted with the windows, the siding.
But the
Well,
rooms you want to do yourself, though.
The rooms we were doing in the winter, because last year I think we spent, what, $4,000 or $5,000 doing the bedroom and all that.
continue working on the inside and doing what you can do.
Right.
And
Yeah.
not,
Livable, make sure it's safe, looking efficient.
Right.
And then the outside's cosmetic, right, siding,
Right.
stuff like that.
Well, you wanna protect it too.
Yeah.
We did a lot of work when we did the kitchen, 'cause a lot of it was rotting away, so we did a lot.
The roof of the pavilion, you know how much it was?
The roof, it was between 20 to 30,000.
That's stripping, you are on top of
No, there's already 3 layers on it.
3 layers.
how is that 20,000? It's
It's a
that
big
big of a house.
Yeah, we gotta take it all off, 3 off, and plywood's and plywood rotted.
All right, well, we have to get us 3 estimates, yada, yada, yada. I mean, it's not leaking at this point, right?
Single family.
It was our one, Cindy, it's done.
Oh, you're talking about the pavilion, not the roof.
No, Larry's roof,
house.
the caretaker's roof is fine, he said.
Okay, that's, all right.
No,
we're-
talking about
You're
the
you're
pavilion,
jumping
sorry.
around on.
No, I went back,
No.
cause I wanna know how much the pavilion roof, was gonna cost.
Seems like a lot, but okay.
Well, I'll get a price, I'll get a price.
All right, so. You know, there's only so much money to go around, so we'll see, but, all right. We'll look at it.
Moving on to Gerlach Park. We have the LED lights for the ball field at $300,000. Field fencing and concrete fence at $150,000. The sprinkler system at $25,000. The stairs at $18,000. And that's the girl.
All right,
And just to finish off, let me just do Buck Johnson, we have the retaining wall.
Okay, well. all right, well,
That goes.
I definitely want to do the stairs at Gerlach because they're almost dangerous.
Yeah, I saw.
They're getting there,
They're
so
bad.
they need to
That's
be
bad.
done. That's a.
That's from the
a safety.
pavilion to the bathroom? To the-
No,
That's
the
from
parking
the-
lot To the aqueduct trail.
Oh,
From
okay.
the main parking lot.
They're very steep and they were built by a scout and they could use some
So
tender
stairs to
loving
the
care.
aqueduct.
Stairs, yes.
The aqueduct, yeah. The retaining wall at Buck Johnson, you know, we're doing the drainage right through there.
That goes with the study for the water.
Right, so I think we need to finish the study before we commit to,
And that.
and whatever digging and drainage work we need to do should be done before that, no? Or
Right,
did
'cause
that,
that,
you know,
that wall is what protects the park where the fence is, if we look from that Buck Johnson, where Sunrise is. It's just eroding.
It's washing out, yeah.
bad. It's over the years, it's gotten worse and worse. the amount of
yes,
rain-
we're losing the park, I get that.
That's where the wall would be.
So do we wanna do the wall this year? Is that what you're talking about, Meredith?
I don't know what's gonna go on there, if they're gonna, with the plan for that swale, where the water comes through, what. if they're
Right, so
dig that deep or
so
dig
should we
by
put
side.
this one out to 25?
I would
For the study.
wait once. What's gonna be done with that area is decided, because even with
Okay.
the work that was done, I guess that guy still had water.
Yes, so in planning this year's budget, would you think that we will accomplish it?
No.
This year, so let's put it into next year.
I mean, it's not right, that something's gonna fall, I mean, the trees, pine trees are there, it's just, you are losing, but it's.
I
not-
get it,
there's
but,
not a house
that
there
we
or
have a
some
whole study
structure.
going
Right,
on
right,
about
so-
why we're losing
Right,
that
the only
park.
thing is right.
Right.
You're still safe, you're away from the playground, it's still another
Yeah.
year or 2 year park.
There's like another few inches before the fence.
Yeah, I mean, fence and fence, but
Okay,
Keep the
Um,
retaining wall for moving to twenty
move it
twenty-five.
to 2025.
Or Gerlach stuff, I mean,
Alright, wait, well, Lou single, we're in the middle of the bathrooms, so. I don't think
but
we
Liz,
can
back
keep-
to Gerlach, though, did you?
We'll go back to
Oh,
Gerlach.
okay.
Oh, wait, what, back to Gerlach?
Yeah.
Back to Gerlach, we don't have money for, do the stairs, and I don't think I think everything else should be pushed out, because. You know, if we're gonna build a soccer field, like, you know, the rec advisory board's gotta decide what's the priority here. So if the soccer field's a priority, it's not gonna be, you know, $450,000 for rebuilding a ball field, like, where's the, something's gotta give.
Soccer.
Are the lights okay for one more year to play softball and have events up at Gerlach for one more year?
You know, like, I can't do everything,
No,
and
got
we're
it.
committed to doing bathrooms, we're committed to doing a stage, which isn't on here.
One field a year is sufficient enough, it just, what
Finish-
needs to, what needs to.
We gotta finish bench, and then, you know, so we gotta talk about, is it gonna be the Collier field or the Gerlach Park field? You know, and then the soccer field, so,
Mhm.
you know, adding another field or rehabbing the older ones, like, we have to make decisions on, you know, it can't be everything. You know, can't be Christmas every day.
So move 1, 2, and 3 to 2025.
Hang on.
How was the grass size quick at Gerlach?
Gerlach and football destroyed.
And that's a real number, you have
Soccer,
sprinkler, that's
football.
the quote.
Well, the thing with there is gonna be, you have to install backflow. There's no backflow, then the line it's, I forget. Has to be a 1 inch. A 1 inch line, so you might have to run it from the road from our pit.
And the lights at the ball field can't just replace the fixture, the whole pole's gotta come out. Everything?
Must
they
get-
won't
they're
put
not
it-
high enough.
Hmm?
They
Yeah,
put
and
LEDs.
LEDs, they won't put
They
on,
won't put on
wooden
wood.
posts, because they move and then it throws off the angle of the lighting.
So if we did the sprinkler, then it comes.
And I
to us
also
next year,
really
then-
don't like the lighting there, I really want directional,
Well, that's what
dark
that,
sky.
That's what the LED
LEDs are
does,
for.
it just makes it. there's
And
no
it's less
spillage,
lights. The LEDs are less lights.
you know,
You don't
Less
have,
expensive.
less lights in
The fixture.
less
less poles. You'll have
okay.
less poles and less lights. Right now it's 1, 2, 3, I think 6 or 7 poles.
Yeah, I
You
probably
go-
went for.
4.
Liz, if everything's operational and they say that everything's good at Gerlach, I mean, I think the sprinkler. At least gives it the green look and not that grass and all that stuff, so I think if we're gonna push off the,
But then when he does the fencing, is he gonna have to level it and take the sprinklers out again?
yeah, but maybe that's gonna be a year down the road, 2 years down the
But
road.
that's a whole nother sprinkler system for $25,000.
No, the sprinkler, the fence there is only in the, behind the backstop. It's not
I
all
don't
the
think
way
it's gonna
down
go
to
in
the
and
outfield.
shoot into the lighting. pole.
The only thing is, we'd have to, if we do the sprinklers, I just have to
Strategically
make a
place the
plan.
heads.
of the layout of the sprinklers where the lines are, so when you do drill the holes for the fence, you're not, cause it's gonna cross at some point, I'm not gonna say it's not, cause the bathroom. And then comes across, so it's gonna cross where the
Mhm.
fence will go. But. as
But
long
if
as
you have a
the
layout
map,
of it,
the
and you know where
layout,
they
right,
are, you
right.
know,
It's just like I did at Ryder for the middle field in Finchfield, I had to mark out, I knew where the lines were. And that was it, we didn't hit them.
But then
And
you
most-
just redid the whole field, but you just redid the whole sprinkler system in New Finchfield.
Not the
I
outfield.
paid for a lot of sprinklers,
for
and now you're asking for
for-
more.
For Harder and Finch,
Okay,
it was for 2 fields, it wasn't just 1 field.
and it wasn't because of the fencing. And it wasn't because of the grading.
Well, we
You
had,
said the fencing was the cause of the
we
grading,
had a,
and the grading was the cause of needing new
we had,
sprinklers.
on the middle field and the Finch field, we had to raise the baselines. But because there's grass, the clay, there's no grass where the fence is at Gerlach, it's, the clay meets. The clay meets the fence,
Okay,
we have boards now to hold back, there's no grass there.
okay, I'm just making sure that
So
I'm
right
not
now-
gonna invest this much money and then have to.
No, and I
redo it.
also said now, knowing what's involved, like, I've never done those kind of polls and stuff like that, now knowing, I mean, the fence guy knew what he was doing, he did the right thing by raising, I understood when you explained it. But now, like Gerlach or even Jesse Collierfield, I wouldn't go as high, like, if you wanna meet your grade, yes, you have to be level, but you have to bring it to a point where it's, where like, the Finchfield was a lot, it was, you're talking, cause the padding too, you had to make it level, you can't have the padding going up and down, so there was areas, it was like a foot deep. to the bottom rail of the fence in one corner, so that's why. But that was level, the field was low on the sides, and we knew it, that's why we never did the dugout work for all these years.
I
So
think you
there
can
was a
tighten up the
lot-
number, I think you can tighten up the number on the sprinkler system. Just to accomplish that baseball field, that softball field, whatever.
Yeah, no. I think so, the most expensive part, like you said, once they look at it, is they have to determine what size line is there, a backflow you're gonna need regardless, I
That
mean,
comes
you
with
need a
the size
backflow,
count, yeah.
right, because you can't have. Anything backing up, but.
All right, so you're saying you wanna do the sprinkler system this year and then we'll look at push the other two out? Mario,
Thanks.
I'm asking you, does that sound reasonable to you?
I think it's important, because like, that's a field we really don't aerate anymore, because. If it doesn't rain when you aerate, there's.
Okay, so
grass
you
in the
feel
ground.
that you
I
can do
feel-
the sprinkler now, that's needed now, and that, you know, and that the work done next year wouldn't interfere with the work that we did this year, okay?
No.
All right, so we'll put the sprinkler system in this year. Into the wish list for this year.
If it happened, that. And that's also Gerlach roof. If it's not this year, next year will definitely have to be replaced, the pavilion.
So can you get a price on that so we can
I'll get a
put that
price, well,
into?
yeah.
Yeah,
Even right apart, you're gonna be doing next year, I mean, this year, I mean, I believe. We're all matching shingles from when a tree fell on the pavilion. We could just go up there and just throw.
all right, so now going back to,
I just throw them up there.
all right, now that we're having all those things that we're doing, where are we? Back to,
So
Well, what
we,
about the stairs that,
she said yes to
Yes,
the
stairs to
stairs, yes to
aqueduct.
the stairs to the aqueduct in Garlic Park, correct?
yes,
Yeah,
and yes, the
in-house-
stairs in
in-house or
and
not?
Cedar.
well, I priced out doing like the
Yes,
stairs. we
stairs.
did-
Railroad ties,
Yeah.
No, stone steppers,
stone covered.
so they last.
So I say yes to the stairs in Cedar because
But then
those
you
are
gotta
also,
be- they gotta be
Yeah, so
snow
now we
cleaned, they
have
gotta
to
be
discuss
treated.
Cedar Lane then.
yeah, so now we gotta go back to
Gotta go
Cedar
back to
Lane.
Cedar Lane.
We don't clean those steps. No.
Now we're gonna go back to Cedar Lane on page 4.
That's
We've
fine, I
gone
thought
through
maybe
this.
that-
No.
That's part.
You know, it's their boxes of gravel. You actually put that one.
They wash away. Because the railroad ties are rotted out.
So I think people are using them, so let's.
We
Get
just put a
that.
rope. Take the stairs out, put a rope in.
Some
Let's do it.
of us are holding dogs. I actually use those stairs, they're scary.
Okay,
Um,
back to Cedar Lane Park now. Now that we've gone through the
Yes.
rest of the parks, the only one left is Lewis Angle, but that's kind of like. Has to be set because we're doing the.
Yeah.
bathroom
that's all, yeah, that
relocation.
should, and
that
it
should
can't be pushed out that far,
Yeah,
either. It has to be
no,
done in this year, so.
Yeah. So in regards to, now we can discuss Cedar Lane Park. So you're saying yes to number 2, which is the staircase, definitely
Yes.
happening this year. Okay. So we have to
Yes to
discuss,
the LED lights, because
Okay.
if we get the grant funding,
okay. Next up, we have removing existing blacktop adjacent to garden.
No, it's
No.
gonna push that.
That's gonna be.
that one's been pushed
They're
already.
pushed out to 2025, so keep it 2025.
Mhm. Pavilion bathrooms have to be looked at. Even if we're just putting porta potties there for now. I mean, do I just take that out and it's not good?
Well,
What
one
do you wanna
bathroom
talk
still works. The women's bathroom is the only one working. The middle, the men's bathroom, we can't figure it out. It has to be electrical, so we don't know. The way those bathrooms are designed, there's small crawl spaces underneath, so we don't know. There's snakes and mice in there, so I don't know if they ate a wire. Cause those set of bathrooms, when they got them, everything's electronic. The flushing is like you push a button and it flushes, so. They're.
So we can't fix the electrical to it, so we're just
Replace
gonna
it,
do the whole
so-
bathroom.
Huh?
We can't fix the electrical to it, it's not working, it's not,
They can't figure it out. We replace some cylinder lids and it's just, unless you start taking the wall out, there's really no way to figure it out.
To replace the fixture.
and they,
No,
he
you-
said they can't.
It's a fixed, it's not a toilet. They're fixed, like everything's built in. It's all fiberglass inside.
So it
everything's
wasn't
built in.
built to be repaired.
No, basically, you literally have to take, I'm assuming the panel off or the outside wall.
Well, let's budget for it. Let's
I
fix it.
mean, but then it's, you gotta. come
They've
off
been
the
trying
pump
to fix it
station.
for a year.
Right.
And the
so-
people always, that pavilion really isn't rented because of the bathrooms. It's
So it's-
disgusting, no matter how
You
much you
have to
clean
take
it,
it down.
they need to.
That's what I'm saying, so
If
they
the
need to
budget-
come down.
You gotta
hard
now,
price
for
on it.
now, one word, we have it closed because they have some rentals. I think it won't see the lane only have like.
Well, we're paying for a porta potty
They have a
there
porta potty
already.
up there.
Yeah, right.
But you,
That's
it's
good money
either
at the band.
go green, and we've looked at the composting stuff, which that, or you have to do a bathroom with septic tank.
Well, we're putting a pump station there now, aren't we?
Right, but the problem is to get from where, right now, the pavilion comes down the road, the pavilion, the bathroom, the line comes down the road. It comes, we're behind the house where the house used to be, and then it turns, it goes along the greenhouses, and it goes into the pump, existing big pump station.
But not our pump station.
It goes there. The problem, they did that, the original plan was to come down, it's all rock ledge. So the problem we're facing is, how do we get that line? But then that means you have to come where the ice house is, you're gonna have to cut the road and come along the art center. And that's,
Paul and Andy do not feel that that's the right way to go.
So moving the
That-
bathroom doesn't make sense either.
But then it's down the hill away from the.
So the
right.
choices really are, do we wanna try for a composting one, which I don't know.
You can't,
Um,
county won't allow it.
the county won't allow a compost, they won't allow us to disconnect
They
and
won't?
do a composting. So then we're to a septic one that gets pumped out,
which
which is basically a large porta potty.
Yeah,
So you can do like a trailer. Buy a trailer, which then you could also use at special events at the waterfront when needed.
and
If
when we
there's
call for
nothing going
service, or
on.
we have to.
We
do
would have
service.
to get a contract
A
for
contractor
service.
for
Yeah, they
service.
pump it out. But then that's also if there's nothing going on.
What did he go for?
50,000 or less.
It's portable, multi-use, multi-like.
That's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Does any of this tie in to the issues that we had the bathrooms at one of the parks that were being, vandalized?
That's Lewis Angle Park, I guess, we're left open sometimes. And
So it's a different park. It's only happening at that park, at that location,
No, it happens everywhere.
everywhere.
Cedar Lane, we've dealt with blacktop in there. Don't ask me how, like.
What do you
pieces
mean
of
blacktop?
Pieces of blacktop. Inside the toilet. So if you go look
They
at
crashed.
Cedar Lane toilet, it's all dented and it's all like they were
Oh, yeah,
bashing
yeah,
it
it was
with tapes and.
They fall out of
that- I guess that's what kids do.
We should almost put a camera.
But
We tried
you need
that.
somebody to watch.
There's no, Cedar Lane is a tough park because there's
No signal.
service, there's no Wi-Fi, it's a tough park to get. That's what, trust me, I would love all our bathrooms, the spray park, all to be on camera so you can watch. Garbage areas, we get a lot of illegal dumping, there's a lot that needs to be watched, but
How many toilets in that bathroom?
there's one and one. The men's has one and the toilet, the men's has a toilet and a urinal. And the women's is just a toilet. And it's both, they both have sinks.
You looked at that waste pipe as best you can, and Paul looked at it, Andy, everybody.
No, they said the cost to bring it down to a new lift station would be
I don't,
astronomical.
I mean, they think I'm crazy, but I don't see why. Since it's on a pump. And their reason is the line is on their property, I get that, but then their line is on our property. If that thing gets pumped from there, why can't we just disconnect from their pump? The existing line. That's there, why can't we tie into that, and then it goes.
I keep asking that.
We
They
could put
keep
that
saying
into the
no.
easement agreement, we could put that into the easement agreement that they're gonna be looking for.
Alright, we can ask them to explain it.
I would look at
That's
that
not
first
my,
before,
I'm trying, but.
it'd be optimal to get into the.
Okay. Alright, is that everything?
So what are we doing for number 4 is being switched out, and the pavilion bathrooms we're keeping for 2024 then?
Let's say,
Yeah,
Or-
one way or the other, or buy the trailer.
yeah, we gotta do
Or
something.
for now,
Sure.
or for now, you rent one, see what a renting costs until you make a
But
decision.
this is the general fund thing, you're not going out for debt, right?
Can you rent those trailers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much are they?
They're expensive.
I'll have quotes, we're getting them for the community center. When we go back.
Alright, and how much are they to rent?
They're gonna be a couple $1,000 a month.
And after 5 months, probably buy it.
Well, no, if they're $50,000 to own and $2,000 a month to rent, I mean, then they'll always be new.
As long as the
Pay off.
$2,000 covers the
So you're
service
only
and covers
getting-
everything.
Well,
for staying in.
That does cover everything.
They'll cover everything, 2,000 on the door, no extra.
Well, it's probably, depends when,
And if you're renting in what, 6 months?
Right, cause
Five
even if I
months.
bought it for 50,000, I'd have a maintenance plan.
Mhm.
If 50,000 would cover 24 months.
But then you see how it works too, you're not just jumping into it.
Yeah.
Then you
So
buy
maybe for the
yourself
first
a-
year, rent it and see how we like it. And then let them, you should really buy it for the community center and then just give it to us. I feel like that's the
just
answer.
hook it up to my truck and drive around.
Absolutely.
Well, some places, I've been to places where they have them stationed, they're on a trailer.
That
but
makes sense, I
They,
mean.
Are they handicap accessible?
Yes.
they will need a ramp.
And they could be moved down to the waterfront for
Mhm.
events. Easily.
Well, if you rent.
Without
Well, if we rent
option.
it,
You're allowed to move.
we probably can't move. We'd have to,
Yeah.
them move, but.
Which reminds me, Mario, we need to move. When are you shutting the water down the waterfront? Did you do that already? All right, when you do, we need to move that porta potty back too. Thank you, please.
Yeah, we'll wait
So you're
another
gonna,
week or two.
you wanna just get an idea to put it into operating? Of what it'll cost for this summer?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get you that number.
Thank you.
Well, then that's something if we own one, we can use like the 4th of July now, down at the waterfront.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
And you got the trucks to move it? Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
We got so many
You got
forklifts.
fleets to be
We
built.
owned it, we would.
No.
Get scared.
If you own it,
It's here's got
I
it.
don't think you're allowed to move their.
Their equipment, they own, yeah, they're
I
renting.
got it.
All right, so that's our recommendations.
Let's start printing the money.
Like everyone else.
And that's, yeah, that's pretty much it, what we have for the capital plan.
All right.
So I guess.
Okay, that's a
you're
good
gonna
part.
give me- Yeah, you're gonna give us the one for the pavilion.
Yes.
After. Give us those and then we'll.
That's just the price one, or I, this is one contractor, now, right?
Well, we want to put down the.
3 different contractors.
The something, just to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
that pencil.
Yeah, because this is just a proposal, we're just looking to budget it and then
Oh,
we
yeah.
actually agree on getting it done, then that's all.
Yeah.
So then we can.
Okay, I think that's it, all good?
Mhm.
Christian? Okay.
No. We had, we put the sod
Yeah.
down at Harderfield. What was like,
Okay, welcome to our senior nutrition program and senior program budget discussion.
I think for the most part, we kept everything the same as we had talked about.
Yep.
Give me 1 second, seniors has disappeared on me. Okay, so we're gonna start with senior nutrition right now. So in regards to the beginning, when we first open it, we have for the equipment, general equipment for dining in. We have it at $750. Office and supplies expense of $1,500 for nutrition. Food supplies keeping at zero as of past years. Contractual food to $72,450. For other, this includes all the renting of the room down there. We have it at a grand total of $43,326. And then, okay, yeah, that's all of the rent that we have down there, because we don't own the space. For equipment at nutrition, we have $1,500. And for contractual food and this section, $55,000. Page 3. Page 3. Okay.
Yes.
On to page 4, this is where we're gonna hit our employees that are full-time there. So we have Pat, who's gonna be at step 4. Oh, by the way, all these people are CSEA. Jenny, who is already at the highest level for CSEA. Lynn, you're getting an increase of 2% over 2023, and now you're full-time, so it's gonna be a 2% increase over that full-time salary that you have, okay?
Yeah.
Angela, again, she's at the step 5 already. Eddie, step 5. Mary Lou, she's gonna go into step 2 for food service, and Louise Vuitton also step 2 for chauffeur, because this is they're getting to the second year now.
Is Jenny step 5? Is that what you said?
Yes, Jenny is
Okay.
step 5, which is the top level that we can get.
just-
Yeah. Everybody is at the highest level in CSEA contract, with the exception of Mary Lou and Louise, because they just got hired.
What about Pat?
recently.
Wouldn't she go up to step 5 in that?
Yes.
Yes,
Sure, sorry,
okay,
my
yes,
fault. Yeah, she's
okay.
step 4 right now, yes.
Right.
That's step 4, and then in 2025, she'll be step 5. Sorry, my
Okay.
apologies. So there's 3 of them that I'm not there yet. Thank you.
Okay.
So the grand total for that is $370,000, $370,127. For overtime, we don't have anything budgeted on this side for nutrition. For longevity, we have Jenny, Lynn, Angela, Eddie, and Pat all receiving their longevity. And that's in budget at $4,475. Sick pay incentive, most of the staff at the senior nutrition takes advantage of that, so we're budgeting it at $6,000 this year. And part-time, we have a part-time food service helper at $16 at $14,560.
Okay, but we don't have a part-time.
We don't have that one
We're
yet.
just keeping it there
we're
in case.
keeping it there. Cause I know we had discussed it, and you were saying whether or not to bring a person in. So we'll see how, I think we had spoken about keeping it still there, seeing how the.
We're
year-
gonna
rest of
keep
the
it
year
there
goes.
and see how you feel.
Yeah, how you feel, cause I know that this was looking for the pre-COVID and now past
Right,
COVID, we'll still see how it goes, so
okay,
it is budgeted in there for that, at
Okay.
least, okay?
Yeah.
In regards to equipment, we have general office equipment at $1,000. You did get that laptop for this year that had been requested, so we're good on that end. In regards to.
I didn't get it yet.
You
but
did get, yeah, it's
She's
ordered.
ordered
Yes,
it.
it's ordered and it should be here.
Paid for on this year.
Yes,
For this
yes.
year. She said she'd be delivering it either today or next week, so
Okay,
just follow with Christina on that, yeah.
Okay,
You know, so I'm waiting for mine as well. Contractual, we have our art and dance classes at $7,395, and then in regards to our senior social worker. I know that you had requested for the salary to be increased, so we have gone over our budget, and it seems that at this moment in time, we cannot do that. So we're still gonna keep our $25 an hour. But there was a discussion that we need to keep in mind that she cannot be working more than 17 and a half
right.
hours.
I
per
have a
week.
question. Why can't she be a part-time employee? What's the,
She can be a part-time employee.
But she'll go down.
She
in
can't be
salary.
a full-time employee.
right, I know. I know that, but she could be a part-time. Why would she go down in salary?
Because right now, if we put her in as an intermediate clerk or however the title, our part-timers are $18.
Even though she's
so-
already earning 25.
Yeah, because I think that's what we've universally.
Is she still get part of her pay from a grant? Because she used to get, they used to have something with the county through the college, I believe it was, that paid part of her salary.
You're gonna have the
I have
information on that
no
I don't.
idea. Okay, because I don't, so they must not.
Yeah,
Yeah, we can
I
look
didn't know
for it,
if
but
you knew
So
that,
we-
you know,
we
in
spoke in,
finance or
yeah.
something.
we've spoken to you about the reason as to why she's kind of doesn't have a specific
limbo.
title. In limbo, why she's.
Right,
So
yes.
because of that, we're trying to fit her in.
Question
I-
about that. If she went to night school and got the,
the higher
Got the higher
certification.
yes,
certification.
what would happen? Anything?
Then we could
Consider
revisit it,
it.
consider it and present it to the board and. see
Then
if
she
they're
could
happy
take,
about it.
there's probably a test in that she could take and.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a test. Whatever the requirements are, if she were to meet them, then we could
Right,
revisit
because
the whole issue and bring her in full
Do they
time.
have that for part-timers though? That.
I can't answer
test?
that.
Okay, I just was wondering if you know, no big deal.
Yeah, like I said, if what you want her to do, and again, I've spoken to
Okay.
her about this, she needs to meet the minimum qualification. So
Okay.
if she were to get the certification that is needed, then we can revisit that at a later point.
Okay, yeah.
And then we can work on.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen, I was.
Yeah, so I mean,
Bringing it
yeah,
up for a question.
for any reference for that, if she were to get the certification, we will revisit that and speak to the county about what the next steps would that be, but that would be the first.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Regards to telephone, we currently have nobody there, nothing budgeted there. For printing and postage, we have for the taxi coupons at $500. For maintenance of equipment and leases, we have a copier contract at $130 per month. And then the new furniture that we said we're budgeting for 7,000, that we're supposed to be for 2023, but we're gonna move to 2024.
Okay,
So in regards to the furniture, I think you have up to $7,000 to spend, so if you want.
couple of chairs.
Thanks, Margaret.
You know, I looked
Yeah.
at, file cabinets, and they alone are like $1,000. I almost fell off the chair. We do.
Look at the contract she's.
This is county
That
stuff. I have to keep
Look at
it.
the contract.
It's not, it doesn't come in here.
It's my podcast.
No, we're required to do paper copies.
Yeah, for county.
Yeah.
And
So,
this is
yeah.
like not even all
Yeah, that's-
for a
yeah.
year. This is
Crazy.
stuff I haven't.
I could tell you that.
We can take a donation. We can take a donation. The town can take a donation. We just have to have a resolution saying that we accept the donation, but
I'll drop it off.
if you wanna.
Is it fireproof? Probably fireproof, right? The $1,000 one.
Oh, I didn't, probably, yes.
Gotta be.
Yeah,
How many drawers you looking for?
it was like 4, the taller.
So like I said, we have it budgeted for $7,000. If you, want to start looking at the different
Yes,
places.
okay.
I thought we were doing, I thought that was in this year's budget and we were gonna have her spend that this year.
Not according to what it says here.
Oh, I thought that's what Dale said. Okay.
We can.
No, all
we can
good.
double check with.
I
Dale
thought
again.
Dale,
Cause I
Because I
think
didn't
they-
use it,
Yeah.
yeah, double check with Dale, because I thought she said that was this year, that was already accounted for in this year.
It appears to me.
Appears to be what?
That it was accounted for this year.
Yeah, but it hasn't been used yet. I don't know if we had decided to go ahead with the laptop instead, isn't that,
Well, that was probably out of that.
yeah, the general one, cause I knew there was a laptop that hadn't been bought and there was the furniture that hadn't been done.
Right,
Right, so if it's
The
already in
laptop
last
came
year,
out of
in this year's budget,
this
then,
year.
we might wanna go ahead and spend it this year, depending on where we are.
Well, she has the money there for this year, you see, she hasn't spent it yet,
Right.
2023.
Right, so you haven't spent it, so, I mean, you can get the furniture this year,
Okay,
if you want.
well then, is the 7 gonna? I'm not gonna spend all the.
No,
7.
you're not,
So
you're
then-
not getting it twice.
That's, yeah,
Did you want us to move, I mean,
either way, I gotta. Whatever's best, for you guys, I gotta look and see.
She has until January to buy.
Oh, okay, so, yeah,
Yeah,
you have until January first, so
January.
you feel like you could get it before?
yeah, I mean, I.
Over the holidays, you
Chairs
figure out?
is the first thing, so I'll get on
okay, so.
Right, so then we would keep, let her spend what's in this budget and take it out of
this
Okay.
one.
the new, this
Yeah,
budget.
okay.
Okay,
Sometime.
okay, so then in that sense, the only thing we would have on that line would be the copier contract.
15,
The 1560,
Okay.
okay, so
okay,
yeah, so it's good on that, put that together, okay?
yes.
Don't post it. Okay, professional dues and meetings, we currently have nothing budgeted there. For unleaded fuel, we have $5,000. The college cab program, thank you. College cab program, we have $35,000. Uniforms at $2,800 for the employees. And repair and maintenance, repair to automotive equipment at $4,000. Going on to the staff portion of this, we have the office and supplies expense at $4,500, and for food supplies at $21,000.
And now, is that the one, the food, this food supplies is for the cold meals, I think, right?
Yeah, it's part of the SNAP program, yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
And then the rogue, are you okay?
Are you okay?
Are you
Are
okay?
you okay?
Are you okay? There you go.
Are you okay, calling program?
Calling program. Oh, that's what it said. Oh.
Are you okay?
The Are You Okay program. There you go. That makes much more sense.
Ruach.
Ruach, yeah. The Are You Okay program, we have for overtime at $4,000. For part-time, nothing budgeted there, and other, nothing budgeted there as well for the Are You
Okay.
Okay program. And then in regards to our revenues, and we have anticipated for the meal for the SNAP fees at $3,000, the call a cab at $18,000. The C1 meals at $8,000, the home delivery meals at $10,000, transportation fees at $1,000, the nutrition program with the ICE
Exactly.
country portion, thank you, we haven't budgeted anything as of that, as of yet. I think that's the one that they were saying that just comes as a one-off from them then. The state aid at WIN at $38,000. The federal 3B program / aging at 10,000. The federal C2 home delivery meals, $20,041.
Yeah, the C one is 40 to 49 above
Yeah,
that.
oh, sorry, yeah, I skipped one, my apologies.
Yeah.
The C1 meal is at $49,038.
What's the difference between the C1 and the C2?
C one is the congregate and 2 is the home delivered.
Okay. Thank you.
The federal commodity funding at $38,633. The federal 3B for transportation at $3,000. And for the HD2 FRC Act, that again, that's just pending to see if we get anything for this year. And I think that was that related to the COVID funding.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of all this.
Part all of that, so we don't know. Yeah, so, and
I'm
that's
gonna, I'll email Dale so she can. Figure it out.
and that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions, concerns, comments from anybody? In regards to this?
Nothing.
Nothing?
All right, well. Yay, that concludes our
See how many
budget.
Honestly, that's a triple.
So we will be getting all of these numbers together. And we will have a budget presentation, on Monday.
On Monday, November 6th, and with the public hearing gonna be called for November 14th.
Public hearing call for, and the public can view the budget online, at the library or in the clerk's office. Okay, thank you.